Hello, everybody, and welcome to the weekly Paradise Games FNM stream. I'm Alex, joined by Jesse,
What's up, guys?
and thank you all for tuning in. We're going to be bringing you some rounds of Standard tonight. I'm not certain if it's 3 or 4 yet, but more than likely 3. And we have we're going to be playing 3. Man, I totally lost it there. What's going on? That was pretty bad. Okay, pretty sure it is 4 rounds tonight, so that's sweet. Regardless, this is the first tournament where Field of the Dead is banned in Standard. Of course, big change to the format.
In peace.
And it's definitely going to make decks like, well, for example, Gruul Aggro feel a little bit better, because this whole Gruul Aggro plan felt pretty impossible to beat once Field of the Dead had their 7th land in play.
Yep.
So thankfully, this should allow Brett a little more of a plan in this type of match. And with that, let's take a look at what things we got going on here. Looks like an Arboreal Grazer, a couple Kenriths.
Kenrith's transformation.
My Arboreal Grazer.
Arboreal Grazers?
Beats.
That's actually so sick. I was just about to roast him for putting Arboreal Grazer in his aggro deck.
But it smacks so good.
But alright. I still might have to roast a little bit.
Yeah, that one's
Fae
of Wishes. Just go ahead and slapping out the 1-4. So we saw Caleb on stream last Friday, and we watched him beat up on Mono Red with his blue-white dummy thick deck.
Indeed.
And it was a pretty good time. But yeah, Caleb's playing basically a high alert package. He's got high alert. Huatley, thank you. That's the one. And he's also got Gauntlets of Light. So
what is
Gauntlets of Light?
What is Gauntlets of Light?
His equipped creature gets +2 and then fights with its toughness.
Okay, so it just
it's an extra high alert on one dude or whatever. So we're gonna see. It looks like Caleb has the creatures here, and I do think I see a Gauntlets of Light at the front of his hand there. But of course, he is going to need to turn them on. He's got the toughness.
Yeah,
right?
he's got the dummy thick boys.
Yeah. So we'll see. Looks like a smack in here for 3 from Brett. Block with the 1-4.
Uh-oh.
That tracks.
It does track.
And
however,
also this Gruul Spellbreaker will get in for 4.
Gonna get stomped, I do believe.
Yep. That seems about right to me.
I'd be shocked, as it were.
It looks like
we're not.
That will be getting stomped. Oh,
do we have a trick?
Ephemerate?
Oh, God.
No.
Not banned in Pauper, notably.
No, that one's still legal. Arkham's Astrolabe, though, it will be missed. Fabled Passage off the top for Caleb. I think that this matchup should be Brett favored, I think, because Caleb's basically trying to make sure that he can cheat out these 4/4 flyers, and everything in Brett's deck is just like a 4/4. He doesn't have to
4/4.
He doesn't have to cheat it out or anything.
Yeah,
they're just
Caleb's
big.
combo is assembling 3 cards to make a 4/4, whereas Brett's cards
just
are
got
just
one.
4/4s.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean he did use 2 cards to make a 3/3, but
Hey, the second one drew a card. Calm down now.
Oh my God. I can't. I don't think I can ever get behind playing as sweet as that may be.
Blue-eyed dummy thick.
I don't think I'm ever able to get behind playing Arboreal Grazer and you're not land stack.
Deputy of Detention here, going to take a Gruul Spellbreaker away from Brett. Now, Brett left with his 3/3 in the face of a couple 1/3s. Not feeling too bad.
Nope, not at all.
Got plenty of action here.
Is that a persistent petitioners?
That is a pass wall adept.
Oh, it's a pass wall adept. Okay, that makes sense.
Here we see the the green-red uncommon from Throne of Eldraine.
Grumgully the Generous.
Grumgully the Generous, indeed.
Getting in there. Combo Goblins staple.
I would expect Grumgully to. Who is Caleb blocking here? not a huge fan of this block unless we have a God's
We
Willing.
have a God's Willing.
God's Willing, of course. So God's Willing will go ahead and give it protection from green.
Did we not have God's Willing up last turn to save our fairy?
We might have.
Oh, never mind.
Damage can't be prevented.
Can't be prevented.
Yeah,
on stomp.
That's a good save there. I bet most people would miss that. Oh, we've got. I'm not sure what that one is. Do you know?
Marauding Raptor.
Marauding
2
Raptor.
mana, 1/3 dinosaur. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, Marauding Raptor deals 2 damage to it, and it gets haste? ?
Okay, sure. I think I would have preferred to see Grumgully here.
Agreed.
From Brett. I think that the Grumgully. You just want to get it out there.
Oh, it's a 2/3.
You just want to get it out there first. Oh, I remember this thing. Yeah, I thought this card was OP. This card's so good. This card's really, really good, actually.
I missed the most. I was pretty far off the mark on this one.
Yeah, this card's actually really good. All right, so here is the Huatley from Caleb. Our butts are online.
Indeed.
Land for turn. Don't think he has any more guys. Let's see if he wants to crash in for 6. He does, of course, win combat now. He does. All right, let's see what's going on.
Yes. Thank you to our producer. God's Willing does counter stomp. This is an important thing to note.
All right, so got untapped Stomping Ground coming in. Brett will go to 18. And then we've got presumably Grumgully. Oh, no. Questing Beast. Hello.
Dude.
Questing Beast. Going to be able to really put on the pressure here from Caleb. It gets to smack Huatley. Of course. Oh, we got Vigilance on that thing. So this should be all at Caleb, and the Questing Beast will be able to snipe down the Huatley. Although I wouldn't be surprised if Brett sent one of the creatures at the Huatley to be able to kill it. But I think that Caleb down-ticked it to gain life, so it's just going to die from the 4 from the Beast.
6 from the Beast. Oh, no, it's only if it's a dinosaur that it buffs it?
I think
that's correct.
I'm not certain, but I think that is correct. And I don't think Questing Beast is a dinosaur.
Questing Beast. Many words.
A lot of words. Dinosaur, not among.
Let's see. Here goes the Gauntlets of Light onto that Pass Wall Adept.
Indeed. So we've got an attack 4/5 here from Caleb. Of course, Gauntlets of Light can untap this creature, so it gives it pseudo-vigilance. So Brett probably just has to block. I mean, I guess, though, he can just take 5 because Caleb's creatures can't actually block Questing Beast. Despite having enough theoretical power to kill them in combat, they don't actually have 2 power.
Indeed.
Beast Whisperer, the draw.
Not bad here. Can we get the Oracle text on Embercleave?
Is that in his hand?
I think it is the card to the leftmost of his hand.
If it is, then he is very dead. Then Caleb is very dead.
It still costs 6, right? Because it costs 1 less.
1 less for each attacking creature.
It's each attacking. I thought it was each knight.
No.
Yeah, that card is way better than I thought. Fantastic.
Yeah, it does cost only 3 now, but I don't even. I think I disagree. Oh,
yeah,
nope.
We go.
Yeah, that'll do. Embercleave is going to seal game number 1 for Brett, and with that, we're going to take a look at the sideboard. So on Brett's side, we have 1 Cindervine, 1 Collision Colossus, 1 Oakham Adversary, 2 Flame Sweep, 1 Domri Anarch of Bullis, 1 Sorcerer Spyglass, 4 Shifting Ceratops, 2 Veil of Summer, 1 Tybalt the Fiend-Blooded, and 1 Bolt Bend. What do you like?
Tybalt Rakish Air.
Tybalt Rakish Air, my bad.
To be clear. I believe that Tybalt should be good here.
Yeah, I mean,
as I imagine that Caleb is bringing in
cards that gain life.
Absolutely. Maybe that's not actually true. Looking at
It is definitely true. I mean, the deck plays ways to gain life, like we saw main deck Quatley.
Oh, indeed.
And on top of that, he will probably be bringing in
Chaplain.
stuff like Daybreak Chaplain or whatever.
So I'm a fan of that. I think that these ceratopsies are potentially
definitely quite a few blue creatures.
A plan if we just really want to get in and end the game as quickly as possible, which I think is certainly the line, because I believe that if Caleb is able to get a high alert on board and get 3 or 4 creatures into play, it becomes a pretty difficult position for Brett to win from.
Domri, also quite good, I think. A lot of the creatures deal damage with their toughness. Things specify that creatures deal combat damage with their toughness.
Indeed.
And so if Domri actually fights, they'll still only do the 1 damage or whatever that they have power for. So that's pretty powerful.
That does seem reasonably strong.
Yeah. Over on Caleb's side, we have 3 Last Step Plating, 4 Corridor Monitor, 2 Devout Decree, 2 Runaway Together, 2 Daybreak Chaplain, 1 God's Willing, and 1 Dovin's Veto. What sounds good here?
I'm pretty sure that you snap off these Devout Decrees.
Yep, obviously
being able
very
to
good.
Get rid of the cards like Marauding Raptor that aren't necessarily, and Gruul Spellbreaker.
There are enough red cards, I think.
That are not necessarily absolutely central to Brett's plan. But,
not like our Boreal Bracer.
Still very important. I also think that Runaway Togethers are acceptable. God's Willing seems playable, and so does Daybreak Chaplain as a way to insulate yourself from some of that damage.
Excellent. Well, we will have to see what our players have decided. Cindervines, one more point out on Brett's side. That does actually kill High Alert and Gauntlets of Light. So that one seems pretty good to me.
Does seem reasonably strong here.
Yeah. So being able to shut off, Caleb's strategy from the get-go seems quite good to me. So it looks like our players are finishing up their sideboarding here. So I think that gives us a little bit of time to talk about this Field of the Dead ban and where we think Standard's going to go from there.
As far as I'm concerned, I think that banning only Field of the Dead was one of the worst decisions they could have made for this BNR.
Oh, seriously? Yikes.
Yeah, so it seemed pretty obvious that it was going to happen, and so I don't fault them for having decided they were going to ban Field of the Dead when they moved the BNR, and then things changing drastically between when they changed the date and the actual BNR. So if they'd made the decision to ban Field of the Dead, which they made it sound as though they had, then I don't fault them for that. However, without Field of the Dead to keep Oko in check, Oko is just taken over the format and is obscenely powerful, and it's pretty much running around without regulation.
Oko's pretty insane.
Yeah, and so I think that the best place for this standard format would either have been no changes or banning both Field and Oko. I was personally a huge fan of the Golos decks, and so I'm definitely a little bit disappointed that Field got banned. However, I can understand how people would not be particularly enthused with that kind of play.
It was certainly absurd. I think it's pretty much not really up for debate that the deck was on a pretty insane power level.
Absolutely.
And probably needed to go. Whether it needed to be actual Field of the Dead to kill the deck or whether it just needed a hit to get back in check. But it definitely needed something. And
yes.
Whether some other things needed to get tuned down with it to make Standard reasonable is definitely up for debate. I think we're probably really going to see in the coming months if that's true or not. But I'm pretty firmly in camp that Golos deck needed a hit. I think it was a little too powerful and just a little too omnipresent, really. It just felt like every time somebody brought up a deck to me that was like, hey, what do you think about this? I was like, yeah, this seems cool, but why aren't you playing Golos? You know, it was like every time I had to like have somebody explain to me why they were playing that deck instead of Golos, and that felt kind of like a problem.
That's definitely not a sign of a healthy metagame.
Yeah.
However, I don't think that Oko is the sign of a healthy metagame.
Yeah, we might be facing similar problems here. Regardless, it looks like our players have decided to present for game number 2. Caleb, of course, will be on the play, and he's starting off with a quick mulligan. Brett taking a look at his opening 7. Looks like he's probably going to keep it. It looks like lands and spells. Yep. Pretty big fan of keeping lands and spells in Standard.
Absolutely.
It's pretty hard to go wrong.
No need to mulligan aggressively.
Yeah, I don't mulligan very much in general. I find that I mulligan far less often than a lot of players do. I'm pretty firmly in the Seth Manfield camp of get there.
I would say that I also mulligan less than average, but I feel like I get there less than average as well. So yeah,
yeah, that's your biggest problem is that you don't get there enough. All right, so let's see if
I don't think I've ever drawn the 4th Mantis Rider.
I often draw the 4th Mantis Rider. It's really mostly just the second one. The second one usually
is enough.
Yeah, you usually don't need all 4. All right, here's 6 cards for Caleb. We'll see if he likes 6 of these. This hand looks pretty reasonable. I see lands and spells, Gauntlets of Light looking like it's going to the bottom, so presumably Caleb has a High Alert or a Huatli of some kind. All right, let's see. We have Island and a Merfolk Secret Keeper.
Just as the 0/4. No
need to mill.
No need for bear. What's the something secrets?
What?
The first half of the Merfolk.
Oh, I'm not actually sure what the
Secret
first half
Keeper
is called.
It doesn't matter. Still casting Arboreal Grazer on turn 1.
It's Venture Deeper, I believe.
Venture Deeper, that sounds about right.
So Arboreal Grazer, ramping it up.
Send a message. I like it.
I like that. Here is a Corridor Monitor to untap it. Sick plays from Caleb. How are you going to get through all this, Brett? He's just got a dumb
so
0/3.
Monitors all came in from
looks like it. I wonder why. That wouldn't have been my choice.
I'm also not sure why they're in his sideboard to begin with.
Yeah, that's a fair argument, but I don't think now. Looks like the Domri came in from Brett, though. I think he agreed with us on this point. Man, Brett...
Go. There's a High Alert.
I think Brett
thankfully
is particularly allergic to casting Grumgully. I think I would have cast Grumgully on this turn as well.
Absolutely.
I guess this way allows Brett to cast the Skargan Hellkite in his hand next turn.
Skargan Hellkite does beat.
Yeah, it's a definite way to get around all these stupid things. Block.
Yeah.
Nice try.
Brett, very lucky that Caleb did not have the untapped white source there.
That would have been a beating.
A beating, indeed.
Another Corridor Monitor from Caleb.
Arboreal Grazer off the top. And you see, this is why, kids, you don't put Arboreal Grazer in your aggro deck. Because you know what you don't want to draw on turn 4? Arboreal Grazer.
Arboreal Grazer.
This card
not at
now
its best
is
here.
0/3 that does literally nothing.
Alright, so we've got Arboreal Grazer just
However,
rotting
Arboreal
in
Grazer
hand.
plus Grumgully
Oh, that's a 1/4.
gives them power.
That is a 1/4. Get that lemur in there.
I'm getting more and more in on putting this Arboreal Grazer in your deck, but
so it looks like
very slowly.
that is Brett's plan. He could, however, play a 2-drop if he has one, but it doesn't look like we do. I expect the Grumgully to fight
and
a
the
Corridor
Domri gives
Monitor
it power
here.
too.
It's actually a 2/4.
2/4s?
Yeah.
Okay, this is becoming less and less heinous the more I talk about it.
Yeah, I think that Brett should have this Grumgully fight a Corridor Monitor right now.
I agree.
But it looks like he just upticked for mana, spent it on nothing. Also, a small mistake there. If you're going to do that, you just want to uptick and spend the mana you get from Domri.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because then you're just going to...
You get to represent something.
Yeah, you get to represent a shock or whatever.
Your creature can't get countered for
for whatever
value.
reason, you know. Here's Huatli. from Caleb. So now, of course, we are attacking with our toughness. So this is an attack for 12 from Caleb.
Indeed.
I'm not sure what he's attacking. We'll have to get confirmation from our producer. If this is all at Domri, I'm pretty okay with Domri dies. If this is all at you, I'm less certain what our plans are. Looks like it is all at Brett. So
I think we jump away our monkeys here.
Jump away our monkeys.
Because it's... Actually, I'm not sure.
I don't hate it, but I don't love it.
They aren't doing anything.
Yeah.
And, but you also probably want to keep your life as a resource.
Yeah, I think
Don't be afraid to spend it.
Yeah, I think you have to keep the Grumgully. I don't think that one's really up for debate. Castle Garenbrig off the top. Let's see now what Brett decides.
Is that a Once Upon a Time, or... What's the green card in Caleb's hand?
I cannot tell from here. I do believe the red one is Skargan Hellkite. That could be. That could be. So we'll see what Brett wants to do. I think it's definitely starting with Domri's. Let's fight these Grumgully in any of these things.
Yeah, literally.
We're killing a 4/4. That's so good. And then I expect Grumgully to kind of smash in at the Huatli. We're going to need to kill that Huatli sooner rather than later, and I don't think we're blocking with Grumgully here.
Yeah, absolutely not.
We can also make 6 green mana if we need to with our castle.
Looks like that's what's happening.
So it looks like we're tapping 5, 6.
Oh, it's a Voracious Hydra.
Interesting. So it's going to put a counter on it, and then I expect the counters to double.
I think
looks like we're fighting. Okay, I don't hate fighting. So fighting a Corridor Monitor, and then fight again with the Domri, and then attack the... Huatli for 4 with the Grumgully. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I think this is...
That's quite good.
Yeah, definitely looking
We have
good
a 5
here.
We have a 6 power Voracious Hydra with 5+1/+1 counters on it. Alright. And let's... Oh, looks like no fight.
No activation of Domri at all? Or did we activate the Domri?
We must have ticked it up for extra mana for the Hydra.
That's
Indeed.
legit.
That is what happened. I don't hate it, but I don't like it as much. So I guess it's not the end of the world. Alright, let's see what Caleb's got. I see Gauntlets of Light in hand.
That makes his Corridor Monitor pretty huge.
It's very big. The Corridor Monitor, or the Voracious Hydra, I believe has 6 power.
6 power, 6 toughness.
5 counters on it. So, a 6/6, same size as this Corridor Monitor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just looks like probably going to have to trade here with this Voracious Hydra, but I don't think we're too unhappy with that,
I mean,
right?
we're just 2 for 1 them.
Yeah. I'm pretty happy to just toss my Hydra in front of this and trade, I think. Our opponent's tapped out. He can't have any tricks or anything like that. And of course, we also got to eat the Corridor Monitor last turn with the Voracious Hydra. So we're really getting 3 cards here with this Hydra. And I think it's pretty hard to turn that down.
That's pretty much where you want to be.
Yeah. All right. So untap, upkeep, and draw. Castle Embereth. And we still have this Skargan Hellkite in hand.
I think... We're just casting this Skargan Hellkite.
Yeah, and we can notably give it haste because our Grumgully will still give it a +1/+1 counter.
Yep.
So we can still activate our Skargan Hellkite on later turns and also give it haste this turn. So
yeah,
pretty high on that.
Everything you want.
So here is the Skargan Hellkite. Looks like Grumgully gives it the counter. Gonna have to decide what we're gonna want to do with the Riot activation. Looks like Domri will downtick.
Now we get to get in for some damage as well.
Yep. Looks like the dragon is getting haste. So attack Huatli, attack you, will Brett. And now Brett is outstandingly far ahead. Another Gauntlets of Light
off the top. Not what you want to see in this position.
No, I mean it's a very important part of the deck, of course, but it's not going to do anything right here. I mean,
rather see a removal spell or something.
We talked about how all of these, basically the entirety of Caleb's deck is like DIY 4/4s.
Yes.
And Brett's just playing 5/5s and
just
6/6s.
playing 5/5s.
So it's definitely going to be hard for Caleb to keep up at points like this, where at any point, if Caleb just draws anything that's bigger than what, if Brett just draws anything that's bigger than what Caleb has, it's going to be so hard for Caleb to win. So here's another fight. I expect a Castle Embereth activation. So this actually might just be lethal here. Or at least close.
4, 5.
4, 5, 6. So 10 plus 2 from Castle Embereth. And then do we have enough mana for a Skargan Hellkite activation as well?
Yeah, that might.
I don't think we have enough mana for Skargan Hellkite plus Castle Embereth. But I can't quite see with the way that Brett has stacked his lands how much mana he has. So it looks like the players are doing the math now. But we'll see where they end up at, because I am losing track of what all of this mana is going into.
Yes.
So I believe it's a total of 8 mana for a castle activation and a Skargan Hellkite activation, and I'm not certain he has that much. I think he only has 7.
Yeah, he needs one more to activate that castle. Oh, no. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he only has 7 lands. So I believe that Caleb will be going to 2.
Sounds right.
And of course, in this world, it is technically incorrect to activate your castle. You'd rather just be able to end step, shoot you for 2 with my Skargan Hellkite, or
right.
shoot anything for 2 with my Skargan Hellkite. But that obviously not good enough. Here's the high alert, Gauntlets of Light in hand, and that will do it.
Handshake.
So Brett taking a clean match here over Caleb with his Gruul aggro deck. And that will be the first of 4 rounds here tonight. So I would love to take a moment to give a thank you to our first sponsor for the stream for tonight, Tabletop. Tabletop is a board game apparel clothing brand. They make excellent merchandise. If you like board games, if you like tabletop games of any kind, basically, you're really going to love their merchandise. They make really quality clothes. They're soft. They don't shrink. They're great. I've seen a lot of people wear them. They look good, and I've heard nothing but good things. Thank you so much to Tabletop for sponsoring the stream. Without them, we wouldn't be able to be here and bring you this content. So huge thank you to Tabletop. Go and check them out if you're into anything board game related. You won't be disappointed, I promise. And with that, we're going to leave you with some Hot Damn Scandal, and we will be back for round number 2.
The bottom fell out of the clouds today, and the rain came down like a mirror. One big sheet and it shattered on the ground. Now it's 7 years of bad luck all over this town. It's collection time on all of your debts, and you can't get by just talking. Your smile don't work, and your car don't start, and your doors ain't keeping you alone. No, not even if you lock them. No, not even if you lock them. When you're tapped into that vital vein, just about anything feels good. The sun tried shining on a lost boy's eyes. They reflected oh so pretty, but it's cold behind them golden shores, and the sweet light wasn't nothing more than their own damn wishing, 'cause they just don't listen. Now wish on your candles, pray to your God, cry for your mama, put $1 on the bar. It feels like breathing, but the only good feeling ain't a gamble is a sin. So I think I'll play it safe and get a gin. I'll take the devil for a spin. When you're tapped into that vital vein, just about anything feels good. For some the morning brings another day, but all it does for me is shine an ugly light around in the room that I've been hiding in. Now I take the easy way, yeah, that gets harder every day. But I ain't here to fix myself, I'm just trying to blind these eyes from hell. When you're tapped into that vital vein, just about anything feels good. I like to swim at the bottom of the barrel. I like to sleep in hidey holes and barroom stalls. I like to hear the piano playing in the bloody little dawn. I like to wake up with the devil and drink him till he's gone. The queen is drunk and someone armed the pawns. Oh, the truth they say is an acquired taste, a vice I've never thought to own. There is no cleaner left, so we filter it through cigarettes. For the gambler's mercy keeps us blind and fade. relying on my bruises, defined my edges against skies of gray. But now my worries are all far away. The sky is clear, and I begin to fade. Once I believed in paradise, a place where I would never feel no pain, a state of mind I'd never have to change. But now it all looks alright, and I begin to fade. Trouble, I need you. I don't know what I am, but I ain't nothing without these blues.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back for round number 2 here with the Paradise Games Standard FNM. We have Michael playing Green-Black Tokens versus Axton on Red-Black Aggro. We saw Michael on stream last week as well, playing against... yeah, that sounds right. Playing against Stephen Boston, was it?
I was not here last week. Oh, right. Yes, I kind of was. Yes, that is correct.
I do believe that
I
happened.
was watching, and I do believe that.
All right, well, anyway, it looks like both players keeping their 7-card hand. Michael starts it off with a Heart's Desire over to Axton. We have Swamp and Knight of the Ebon Legion, perhaps. Indeed, this is the best start that this deck has to offer, so...
by a long shot.
Yeah, let's see if it's good enough.
Knight of the Ebon Legion, an obscenely powerful magic card.
Oh, yeah, it's insane. Here is the Watery Grave. I do believe Michael is playing Sultai. I believe he's splashing blue for Oko.
That sounds right to me.
Oko, definitely a problem card for these type of aggressive decks. Fervent Champion here from Axton. We will attack 4/2, of course giving +1/+0 to Knight of the Ebon Legion because it is a knight.
Indeed.
And if Michael doesn't block, the Knight of the Ebon Legion will get a +1/+1 counter because Michael will have taken 3 points of damage this turn. So it looks like Michael does elect to make the chump, loses his 1/1. And...
It's 4 points of damage for a knight.
Oh, you're right. My bad.
Well, this looks like a pretty strong start for Axton. This
is
one
drop
right
into
about what
double
you
one
want to be
drop.
doing.
Feels pretty hard to beat, basically ever with anything. Michael agrees. Just drops the cards on the table. Michael's probably going to need some type of board reset to be able to catch up here. Something powerful. If he just plays a 5/5 this turn, that's
also,
not
if
bad.
He just plays Oko, but I don't believe he has one in hand.
Yeah, Oko doesn't actually really do that much on this board. It probably just comes down and makes a food, right?
Yeah, it comes down and makes a food. And then...
Yeah, and then like gains him 6 life or whatever, so like 9 life eventually. It's still pretty powerful.
I think that gaining 9 here is quite decent.
I tend to agree, but 5/5 does a pretty decent job of stabilizing this board. Axton will need an answer of some sort. Of course, second mountain means that Swift End not on the table. He's got a Stormfist Crusader and a Gutter Bones pulled to the top of his hand. Of course, he cannot play both of those due to the Mountain in play. And this is one of those problems with these aggressive decks.
Yes.
The mana base sucks. They're really bad.
Yeah, they're truly terrible.
So here's an attack with...
Oh.
Huh. What?
That was a pump in to give it Death Touch.
Pump in to give it Death Touch.
Yeah, pumping the Knight of the Ebon Legion to give it Death Touch.
Got it. Yep. Here's Questing Beast, attack for 4, well, Michael. These are big dumb creatures. Murderous Rider off the top. Still no black for Axton.
Indeed.
Yeah, and these mana troubles are hurting him. Here's the Stormfist Crusader. It's gonna try and help Axton dig into his second black mana. Of course, he's basically locked out of playing 2 spells a turn, despite having 4 lands in his hand, due to this triple mountain draw. And man, the mana hurts. That is not a legal block for a lot of reasons.
Not a legal block. Super not a legal block for actually every reason.
There's a lot of reasons why that is not a legal block, but looks like they will correct that one. And Axton will take the 4 because he has to.
Something judges.
something judge. So we've got Michael playing his 5th land here. We'll see what he wants to do with his turn. I didn't get a glimpse at any of the cards in his hand, but it looks like a black getting tapped for Dreadhorde Invasion.
Here we go.
Oh yeah, run it up. You know you're doing all right when you're slamming your Dreadhorde Invasion
against
aggro. Yeah, and it looks like another Questing Beast is in hand for Michael, so even if Axton finds that swamp, he's gonna probably swift end this one, and then just another one's just gonna come down.
Yeah, he's gonna put himself to 10 and just adding a couple turns.
On upkeep will trigger. Both players are gonna draw a card and lose 1 life.
There's the swamp.
So there is that swamp that he needed.
Comes down. We're gonna swift end.
Yeah, gotta do what we gotta do. Swift end Questing Beast.
Get in with the team, I imagine.
Yep. Seems likely. Of course, Axton all the way down to 9 because of this. Here's an attack with everyone. This is going to be for 3, 4, 5, 6 points of damage, putting Michael down to 10. And then Michael's going to go to 9 on his upkeep from the Dreadhorde Invasion. That's not very much. But the second Questing Beast, putting Axton to 5 and then to 4 because of his quest, because of his own Stormfist Crusader, is quite scary. Axton's going to need to find an answer to the Questing Beast off the top of his library, I think. And I think it kind of has to just be another Swift End.
Yeah, and the problem with another Swift End is that it puts him to 2, and then
Legion's End off the top? Oh, that's not fair. I think he has a Gutter Bones in his hand, too. Oh, not like this. Not like this. So I don't think Michael's going to target the Stormfist Crusader, because, of course, that is his 2-turn clock. And notably, Michael does need a land to be able to Legion's End and Questing Beast. But it looks like he's starting with the Legion's End, so presumably he has it. Oh, no, not the Stormfist Crusader. You need that one. Yikes. Oh, he gets a Stormfist Crusader anyway? Yeah. Ooh, Axton does have another Murderous Rider, also a Gutter Bones, but I think I disagree with that target selection. Also, if Michael chose to do this instead of Questing Beast, I heavily disagree. Looks like he can also play Oko. That is powerful as well.
That's pretty good.
He'll get to turn this zombie into an elk, make it a 4/4, and then, of course, next turn he'll make another 1/1 because it won't recognize that zombie token as a zombie. It will be an elk now. And then he'll essentially get to make 4/4s every turn for the rest of the game at the price of 1 life.
Pretty solid synergy.
Yeah, it's pretty absurd. I think another Oko in hand for Michael as well. And, of course, if Michael's ever worried about his life total getting too low, he can always just make a food and re-up. So we'll see what Axton wants to do. He drew another Murderous Rider. I think he's going to have to Swift End something this turn. And we'll see what he decides to do. It's pretty tough between the 4/4 and the Oko. Looks like Axton decides it has to be the Oko.
I like that.
I tend to agree. Of course, he doesn't know that Michael has another one.
Yep.
But I think that was the play he had to make. Down to 7. And, of course, no good attacks. So draw a card. Will Michael. He'll make another 1/1 with his Dreadhorde Invasion. Down to 8 life. Somewhat precarious here. I'm curious to see if Michael just plays another Oko this turn and runs it back, or if now he decides to slam the Questing Beast and get aggressive.
I think we have to slam here. But
yeah, I mean, I think Questing Beast plus attack with both of my 4/4s is very good this turn.
Absolutely. Attack with one of my 4/4s.
Well, why not both?
You can't attack with the summoning sick one.
Oh, but no. The 4/4.
That's what you mean.
That he made last turn.
Yes.
Yeah. Of course, the other 1/1 is not a 4/4.
Well,
it could be eventually.
If he was casting his Oko.
Yeah, but I don't think he has the.
He doesn't have
to
the
do
mana
it.
to do both. Yeah.
Yeah. So Michael just taking a quick tank here, deciding what his best plan is. I do really like putting the pressure on right now, though.
Absolutely.
It's gonna force Axton's hand pretty hard. He's gonna have to go down to 3 and chump away something on that 4/4 army, and then untap and try and Swift End, and then just probably die. So there's the Gutter Bones will jump in front of that 4/4. So it looks like Michael
Looks like
not playing Questing Beast.
Oko here.
Indeed. Here's another Oko. Make this army into a 4/4. We'll see if he has anything else he wants to do. Looks like he does not. Pass the turn. Mountain off the top for Axton. Not quite what he wanted to see. We'd still prefer to be drawing swamps here. He's still mana pinched because of the awkward mana base. Just nothing but basics here, and Axton has no real control over the spells he can and cannot cast because of it. Oko hits the grave. Now are we going to see the Questing Beast?
Yeah, one would hope.
I sure hope so. Down to 6 will Michael be. I do believe. Okay.
Can't imagine we're not just slamming
Alright, yeah, it looks like...
the beast
Yeah,
and
I would
attacking
hope so.
our opponent for lethal damage.
Yep.
There we go.
Yep. There we go.
Yeah,
And that is the end of that. And
concession.
that is the first game going in favor of Michael. So let's take a look at this sideboard. Michael, he has 1 Casualties of War, 1 Vrasko Golgari Queen, 1 Questing Beast, 3 Witch's Vengeance, 2 Return to Nature, 2 Mystical Dispute, 3 Duress, and 2 The Elder Spell. What sounds good?
I'm pretty into this Vraska.
Tend to agree.
And these Witch's Vengeance, naming Knight, very relevant here.
Oh yeah, most of the cards in this red-black deck are Knights.
Those are the most important things. I wouldn't hate
I think I also
to see a Questing Beast.
like the Questing Beast. It's just nothing in Axton's deck can block it.
Nothing in
Like,
Axton's deck can block it.
nothing.
Nothing in Axton's deck answers it particularly cleanly.
Absolutely.
From Axton's side, we've got 1 Disfigure, 3 Duress, 3 Noxious Grasp, 3 Legion's End, 2 Lava Coil, and 3 Experimental Frenzy.
Indeed. So I think over here we definitely want the Noxious Grasps. We need a way to deal with this. We need a way to deal with Oko, basically.
Yes.
And we also need probably the Experimental Frenzies to try and go longer, I think. That's my take. I think we're going to need to get a little bit bigger. Probably Duress is pretty good too. So we're going to need basically a different plan because it's really hard to beat these mid-range decks with our aggressive strategies. I mean, we saw Axton there with basically the dream draw of 1 drop, 1 drop, 1 drop. Yep. And yes, he had a little bit of mana problems later in the game with mostly Mountains not being able to cast his spells at a particularly timely manner after the 1 drop, 1 drop, 1 drop start. But still, if we're playing 1 drop, 1 drop, 1 drop,
yeah.
How many times can I say that? And we feel like we're massively behind on turn 3.
Something is going wrong.
We're going to need a new plan, I think.
Yeah.
So I think we need the Experimental Frenzies.
Definitely in on the Frenzies.
And hopefully we will see a little bit of a bigger plan from Axton. Hopefully also we have some cards in our deck that let us block Questing Beast.
Yes.
Ever. Like maybe we need to bring in Lava Coil to beat that. I mean, we have Noxious Grasp too. So, that's not the worst. And that'll do a reasonable impression as well. But, maybe we just need even more answers because we can't beat it ever. So, we'll see. Anyways, looks like both of our players are just about done sideboarding here. And Axton will, of course, be on the play for this game. Being on the play, pretty big deal. With your red-black aggressive deck into these mid-range decks. You really need to be able to get under them and hope they have a relatively slow, stumbly draw. Hope they take some damage from their lands. Yep. We saw Michael take something like 6 or 8 from his mana the other day. And that's just kind of the price you have to pay with the mana not being all that great anymore. Shocklands, of course, very powerful, but they do open the door for a lot of aggressive strategies to sneak in and punish those greedy mana bases
absolutely.
Michael's. Okay. You like seeing Gray's face in the background? Gray is definitely a cutie, and we like seeing his face in the background, too.
Yeah, indeed.
All right. So, as soon as Michael decides he's done shuffling, which it's been it's been a hot minute, I'm not going to lie. The deck's pretty random, bro.
Did you know I was reading an article
Uh-huh.
about shuffling cards, and if you have everything sorted right,
Yep.
and then you shuffle it for, I can't remember what the optimal number. The optimal number is only it's like 5 or 6 times, and then more than that you just start putting it back into its piles.
Yeah, it's about 7, I believe.
It's 7? Okay.
I believe it is 7. So let's see. Opening hands here. Looks like Axton didn't get a good look at the hand, but it looks like both players are keeping their 7. Castle Lochthwain tapped. Yikes.
Yikes, indeed. You hate to see it.
Yeah. All right. So we've got a draw from Michael. Let's see what he wants to do. Presumably just a nice tapped land here, not take too much damage. Ooh, looks like we may be starting with a Heart's Desire. Oh, a Gilded Goose. That'll do it. So Gilded Goose will make a food token, not a 1/1 token.
Not a 1/1
I'm thinking of
token.
Lovestruck
Yeah.
Beast. Another Castle Lochthwain.
Yuck.
Off the top. Yikes.
Here comes Robert the Rich. Card's pretty absurd.
Yeah, it's quite good. So attack trigger. Axton will get a nice sneak peek at the top card of Michael's deck. It is exiled face up, so Michael does get to see it. It is Dreadhorde Invasion. Axton might be interested in casting that later. Yeah, that one seems pretty good to me.
Especially if he's playing a tapped land.
Yeah, for sure. Oko off the top for Michael. Pretty good one there.
The nuts.
Yeah, otherwise known as the nuts.
Yeah, a little bit more than pretty good.
Thanks for drawing me to that one, Axton. Yikes.
Yeah, you hate to see it.
So, Jesse, I've got a quick question. How does any deck in the format beat turn 2 Oko?
They don't.
Great. Thank you very much. This has been
answer
Jesse from Paradise Games, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah, like to thank our sponsors, and I'm out of here.
Yeah, it's pretty unbeatable. So looks like Michael, however, decides that he wants to play that do you remember the name of the card?
Woodland Champion.
Woodland Champion. I forgot it so many times. Woodland Champion into
Not
a
just
Heart's
grasp
Desire.
off of the top for Axton, which is a phenomenal draw here. It's going to keep everything that Michael's doing in check.
Yeah, I only wish we had like 6 of them.
Yeah, that would
instead
be nice.
of the one we have.
Well,
so
now we're gonna lose to this Oko.
yeah, I mean you kind of have to though.
You do kind of.
It doesn't
have
really
to.
feel like we can just let this Woodland Champion
It's
run
a 3/3.
about.
We can't beat 3
It's
toughest
huge.
creatures.
It's huge.
3 is too many.
Yeah, of course we'll get a nice attack in here for 2.
Also, 3 is too many. Also,
Ooh, did we
notably,
miss
the
our trigger?
theme of the burn spells.
Looks like we missed our trigger
in
with that.
Pioneer.
Yeah, looks like we missed our trigger with that Robber of the Rich.
Unfortunately,
So,
so.
That's no
Maybe
good.
there's an equal hand size.
Oh, there is a hand size. Excellent. So, looks like everything is going according to plan. I'm a little surprised that Michael had fewer or equal cards in hand.
I mean, he cast 2
Axton.
cards. He cast 2 cards last turn.
It's
Instead
true, and
of
I guess Axton played a
casting
tap
Oko,
land on turn 1. So.
which is actually that actually makes the not casting turn 2 Oko play seem a little bit stronger there.
Yeah, definitely
Denying
not
her
bad.
over the rich trigger.
Yeah. So here is the Lovestruck Beast. Oh, I think we're missing blue mana currently.
We do appear to be missing blue mana.
Of course, the
However,
goose did
would've-
eat our 1 food, so now we
Yeah.
don't have access to it. That's definitely an argument for playing that Oko.
Now the goose can keep pumping out food.
Yeah, at the price of 2 mana a turn, which when we're, stuck on mana, at least some, obviously, not going to be super easy to do.
Absolutely not.
So Gutter Bones and Robber of the Rich staring down a 5/5. Wonder what they're going to try to get done. Looks like here's another
Crusader.
Storm Fist Crusader from Axton. Gonna try and start letting him churn through his deck. No land from Axton. So we've got a swamp off the top.
Off the top, not exactly what you want to see there.
Yeah, we're still looking for blue mana, of course, to be able to get this Oko online. Unfortunately, not able to cast it yet. So, I wouldn't be shocked to just see Swamp go here from Michael.
Yeah, that's about
Looks like
where
things
I'm
are
at.
pretty stable. We're going to make some food, try and set up an Oko next turn. Looks like Overgrown Tomb tapped. I wonder what this means. Perhaps a Questing Beast?
Questing Beast would be pretty nice
The
here.
Besting Queast, indeed.
Questing Beast comes in.
All right, so obviously
Come on and slam.
can get in for free.
Welcome.
I like rumbling with
to
the
the
5/5 as
jam.
well. So Gutterbone's gonna chump the 5/5 away, and
4 down to 16 for Axton.
yep, of course, a nice tax on Axton's mana here.
15 in the upkeep off the Stormfist Crusader trigger. Each player will be drawing an additional card.
Yep, and then a draw for turn is Knight of the Ebon Legion plus a Murderous
Plus
Rider.
a Murderous Rider. That's a pretty good one here.
Yeah, we're probably just gonna have to swift end Questing Beast, and that does not feel like a winning play.
No.
To be
Not at all.
honest, like, what are we doing here? Like,
then we're
kill
just
that,
gonna
take
attack,
2, and then
I
he's
guess.
gonna attack us back for
I
5.
actually don't hate leaving the Stormfist Crusader back to block the 5/5. I don't think
Yeah,
that you want... I'm pretty sure we have reached a point in the game where we don't really want Michael to be gaining cards off the Stormfist Crusader.
yeah, I don't hate that either. We are still missing land drops though, and we do really want to find them.
That's true. We do need to find another land.
Witch's
to be-
Vengeance is in hand for Michael.
And
That's
we're done
pretty
here.
unfortunate. Well, I do
let's-
think that Robber of the Rich is not a knight, if I'm correct.
Oh, that's true. That's
So
true.
actually, surprisingly, 2 different card types in play, but most of the threats in this deck are knights. So, thankfully, dodging a bullet there.
You could name Archer.
If only Stormfist Crusader were an archer, they might actually both be humans. They are both humans. Ha
Notably, the 1/1 also a human. So
Oh, that is
Michael getting
pretty
in,
unfortunate,
Michael getting
yeah.
in first, and now we're probably.
Well, we do
just
have
gonna
another
see that
Love
Witch's
Struck Beast though,
Vengeance.
so we can even.
Oh yeah,
get
Witch's
it after.
Vengeance first, and then
And
make
then
another 1/1.
Yeah, that seems pretty good to me.
Very into that line.
Yeah, looks like Michael might be seeing it as
I
well.
don't think I can justify doing anything else with this turn.
Yeah, looks like Witch's Vengeance will be naming human, I assume. The 1/1 will die. And then we could alternatively just have our goose make a food. I don't hate that either.
I don't hate that either. Casting
Because
Yoko
we
seems
can-
pretty good onto this empty board.
Yeah, there's no real reason to get ahead of ourselves, right? Like we can
just
just
do it next
do it
turn
next
and
turn, and
get
maybe
it
Axton
anyways.
will screw up and think that we won't have a way to make a 1/1.
Yep.
But looks like Michael has plenty of ways, and it looks like that is what Michael will decide to do.
Blackland Sparagon off the top, pretty good here. We get to
Still not a land though.
still not a land, but it blocks the trades with the
It
Love
trades
Struck
with the
Beast.
quest or with the Love Struck Beast
or a Questing Beast.
or Questing Beast. Yeah, pretty relevant.
Worse on the Questing Beast.
I would be pretty surprised if Axton actually
that card have
play
trample?
Questing Beast.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's trample vigilant. It's trample
Vigilance,
no,
Death
it's
Touch.
haste vigilance death
Haste,
touch. So no,
Vigilance,
it does
Death
not.
Touch, no trample.
No
but
trample.
It gets over Little Voice.
Yep.
Yep, we made the food.
Assassin's Trophy off the top. So now we'll see what Michael wants to do. I expect Heart's Desire and an
And then
attack,
attack. I think that.
and hold up our Assassin's Trophy for any shenanigans that could go awry, which shenanigans will go awry,
Shenanigans
and
will
Axton
indeed.
will probably be pretty disappointed with the outcome of his shenanigans. So I think I like that play. It looks like Michael agrees. Heart's Desire. Let's make a 1/1 human.
And then we even get to cast the Oko post combat. No, do we only have 2 green?
We do only have
Robert,
2
we
green
won't get
mana.
to cast the Oko post combat.
Yeah, we will not be able to cast Oko, but that's okay. We can just cast our. We can just cast.
We're crushing
Ooh.
the goose, by which I mean stomping.
No, it's the 1/1 token.
Oh, the 1/1.
Yeah, so it can't attack.
Oh.
Yeah, that seems pretty good to me.
I like that a lot, actually.
Yep, that's a pretty good line. And now we have Oko plus Dreadhorde Invasion as the follow-up here. So that seems pretty strong.
Not too shabby.
Yeah, I like that line quite a bit. I'm curious what Oko will do with its first uptick. I think... Oh, we're not casting the Oko? Wow. Or the Lovestruck Beast? I guess we're just holding up Assassin's Trophy, but Axton has to know something's up now, because we didn't cast a Lovestruck Beast that's in exile, and that's pretty suspect.
Yeah, that is indeed.
Yeah. And I honestly think I'm just not a fan of this line.
No, I'm not either.
Because next turn, our Dreadhorde Invasion is going to make a 1/1, and then we'll have 2 Lovestruck Beasts to attack
Yeah.
with that turn. I really would have liked to see the Lovestruck Beast
pretty
come
heavy.
in there. So Axton walking face first into this Lovestruck Beast here. Attempt to pump the Knight of the Ebon Legion Assassin's Trophy on the Knight. And I don't like this attack here.
No.
You have to know Michael has something. You can't just attack into that here. He would have cast Lovestruck Beast if he had nothing. Like, he has to have some sort of something he can do
absolutely.
at instant speed. It's obviously a removal spell. He's playing a Sultai deck.
Yeah, like
The deck the colors have access to infinite ones of them. You just can't be making attacks like that into the mana when he's so obviously has something there.
Yeah,
and that's,
especially...
it's one of those things that's easy to miss, but it's one of those things that really elevates the great players is, noticing the things like that are, it's way easier to see when we know Michael's hand.
Right, obviously.
And so it sounds like super, hoity-toity to say these things, but like those are the type of things that you really need to be paying attention to the game to pick up on, and it really, like, paying attention to those things I think are what really make players really good at the game.
Yes, absolutely. That's what boosts you into the upper echelon for sure.
Absolutely agree. I think another Lovestruck Beast off the top. And
Adventure time.
Axton does have a stomp here, but only one. So he cannot kill both 1/1s, so he'll go down to 2 from that attack. Notably, we'll have to see what Michael decides to do post-combat. I would expect to see just cast a Lovestruck Beast here from Michael. Seems pretty good to me. Or potentially also just cast an Oko. I do also believe that Michael casting an Oko here will have lots of outs to end up with lethal next turn, but it looks like Michael just said go again. He's planning on making another food token, perhaps? That will allow Michael to make a food at end step, untap, cast Oko, and then plus on the other food.
Yeah.
To have a 3/3 lethal attacker.
I'm pretty sure that I like activating my Castle Lockthwain here. Oh, nope.
Activate castle. Yeah, just kill myself. That's a good line. That's a good line. I like that one.
Guess
Say
Axton's
go.
Off that one.
Yeah, unfortunate. So Michael will make another food. Of course, on upkeep, Michael will be forced... Whoa, we're making a food and then sacrificing a food? I don't like this line from Michael. I think Michael had much more powerful options available to him, and when your opponent's at 2 life, you want to put your foot on the pedal. Like,
absolutely. I
spending 4 mana to gain 3 life, I'm not about that here. Especially when we can't attack with our Lovestruck Beast this turn. So we just don't have pressure now. Like, we're just going to take so many turns off right now to do this. And
here comes that Oko.
Yeah, like, you could be forcing Axton to chump with his Murderous Rider this turn if you just Oko plussed on that food, and you'd still be at 7.
Yeah.
I mean,
you still force Axton to jump with his Murderous Rider this turn.
We don't actually have... Well, we can uptick on the token, but, like, now you... Otherwise, we'd have 2 lethal attackers,
right. This is true.
Like, looks like Forest, the last card in hand for Michael. Of course, Michael probably suspicious of the 2 mana that hasn't been spent with the 4 lands in play. Looks like Axton just chumping. No effects. That seems surprising. If he had a Black Lance Paragon, I would have assumed we would have seen it. I think he has a Spawn of Mayhem, and it must be some other stuff going on in his hand. I didn't see lands.
No, I thought...
So, I wonder what is in his hand.
There was a Black Lance Paragon, but maybe...
Maybe not.
Apparently not.
Well, regardless, looks like Axton is pretty dead. And a nice 2-0 there from Michael with Sultai token. Seems like a pretty convincingly good matchup for the Sultai deck. If there's anything I've learned from playing Magic for like 8 years, it's that Sultai mid-range is good against aggro. It doesn't matter what format.
You get to board into all your wraths. Like,
doesn't matter what format is. It doesn't matter what's going on. No matter what, if you're playing Sultai mid-range, you're going to have a good aggro matchup.
Yep.
So,
certainly
with that...
feels like the way of it.
Yeah, with that, I would love to thank our second sponsor for tonight. Die Hard Dice is an excellent metal dice company. They produce the best dice in the business. If you are into tabletop games of any kind, Warhammer, Dungeons and Dragons, or any other role-playing game, Die Hard Dice makes the best dice for your game. It's just true. They feel so good to roll. They roll more 20s than other dice, I've heard. And you know, that right there is
I
worth the
need
price.
to get me some
Yeah,
of those.
right there is worth the price. So thank you so much to Die Hard Dice for sponsoring the stream. If you're interested, go to dieharddice.com, and we also carry them in our store here. So feel free to check them out. They're super nice, and thank you so much to Die Hard Dice for sponsoring the stream. With that, we're going to leave you with some Catpacity, and we will be back for round number 3. Make sure not to go anywhere. Wild Slash.
And we're back for round number 3.
Hello, everybody. We've got Brett versus Michael. We've seen both these players earlier on camera, and, well, they both won, and that brings us to round 3 here, where they'll be playing against each other. So, we've got some Sultai tokens versus Gruul aggro. What do you think about this matchup at a glance? We've seen both the decks so far. What are your thoughts?
Since Brett's deck is still on the more aggressive side, but actually able to go a little bit bigger than Axton's red-black deck, I think that Brett will certainly has a better matchup against Michael than Axton did.
I don't think either of them are good, though, right?
However, I do still believe that Michael has the edge in this matchup for sure.
Tend to agree. That's where I land as well. We'll have to see. Looks like both players keeping their opening 7 from a glance. They look like they have lands and spells. So, I do see one of them there, Kenrith's Transformations in Brett's hand. That's a spicy one we don't see in most lists.
That's true.
It does probably not very much against Michael.
Yeah, it certainly doesn't. All of his creatures have counters on them.
Yeah, they're all 1/1s to begin with that get bigger.
Yeah.
So,
sticking it on a questing beast, not the worst.
Yeah, but that's about as good as we're going to get, right?
Certainly the best you're going to get in this
So
match.
it looks like a couple of tap lands traded back and forth on the first turn of the game. We'll see what Michael wants to play on his second turn. It looks like it will be that Dread Horde Invasion, the all-powerful enchantment from War of the Spark. And looks like Marauding Raptor for Brett. Michael, going to go ahead and take a read on that one.
Creatures you control cost 1 less to cast. When another creature enters the battlefield under your control, Marauding Raptor deals 2 damage to it. If damage dealt,
if it is a
dinosaur,
if a dinosaur is dealt
this way. Marauding Raptor gets
gets
+2/+0 until its turn. I even read it earlier and still didn't know what it did.
Yeah.
This card has so many words.
Yeah, it's got a lot of text. But basically, it's a 2-mana 2/3 that makes all of your things cheaper and then attacks for 4. It's crazy.
Indeed.
Seems pretty absurd. Unfortunate that Ixalan rotated, or else all of those dinos really would have benefited from it. Of course, the format just before Ixalan rotated it with M20 was a little too powerful for the dino deck to really take off, with Kethis floating around and
ridiculous.
And the Scape Shift Field of the Dead shenanigans going on.
Not that format mattered at all. However,
yeah, but
Kethis was like the most powerful standard deck we've seen in years.
It was true. It was very, very powerful. This looks like the second copy of Dread Horde Invasion. That's kind of a problem for Brett. This card's going to get too big for Brett to be able to deal with very soon. However, this is a big smack.
Crunch.
Of course, Michael unable to block the Questing Beast. That's an attack for 8 on turn 3? That's absurd. Oh, no. Just 6, because the Questing Beast, not a dinosaur.
Beast, not a dinosaur, has been
not a
discussed
dinosaur,
earlier.
so an attack for 6. Of course, it does only cost 3 mana because of the Marauding Raptor. So,
yeah, this is
down to 13 will Michael go. And on his upkeep, he's going to lose 2 life and put 2 counters onto his zombie. And yeah, he's under a lot of pressure here. So it's going to take 2 more turns for Michael to be able to get enough counters on this zombie token for him to be able to get lifelink on it.
Yep.
So it's going to be pretty tough for him to live that long if he doesn't have a powerful turn in the interim.
Yeah.
To be able to get that lifelink. And of course,
but that's certainly something that Michael's deck is capable
of. Oh,
of
yeah.
doing.
4
basically
mana.
Casting any spell in his deck here is going to stabilize him.
4 mana should be enough to do something powerful. We'll see what it is. Looks like a Questing Beast of his own.
Legend rule.
Good old-fashioned old legend rule. Brett, of course, does, unless he has some sort of trick, Brett is supposed to block here. The fact that he did not block should cue Michael in that something is going to happen. And it might be that Kenrith's transformation there on the Questing Beast. We'll see what he wants to do. Castle Garenbrig off the top for Brett. Not active until the next turn, but will potentially do some powerful things. So now we need to see Brett probably wants to deal with both creatures on Michael's side of the battlefield. So we'll see what his best ways of doing that are. Kenris Transformation will turn Questing Beast into a 3/3 with no abilities.
Looks like we tapped our red mana. Oh, no, we have the Stomping Ground.
We have a Stomping Ground, correct.
Okay. I'm just a little blind.
Bunch of Grumgullies in hand. Brett, of course, can play the Grumgully if he chooses to. Marauding Raptor will make that much cheaper. Here's the double block from Michael. This one seems pretty self-explanatory. I think Brett will elect to kill the zombie. He does. And, of course, Death Touch will take both out. And here is that Grumgully. It will take 2 damage from the Marauding Raptor, but not going to be particularly relevant.
Nope, not in the slightest.
Yep, and send it right on back over to Michael, who's going to take 2 more damage from this Dreadhorde invasion. And yeah, Michael...
These Dreadhorde invasions are definitely looking more...
Michael might die to it.
Yeah.
Like, very, very possible that Michael will die to this Dreadhorde invasion
These
here.
are
I
certainly
believe he's
looking
down to 7
to be more of a hassle
right now. So we've seen in the past that these Dreadhorde invasions have hurt his life, but they haven't been backbreaking.
I think we've yet to see him actually kill himself with Dreadhorde invasion.
This is the first game where I'm feeling not great about having this permanent in play.
Yeah, absolutely.
And really, it's definitely amplified by the fact that he has 2.
Yeah, the second one definitely
2 damage a turn's a
is
lot.
what's pushing this over the edge. Yeah, like as we were talking about how having Shocklands in your deck makes it that much easier for aggro decks to get the edge on you. When you just have a permanent in play that's doing 2 to you in your upkeep every turn, it's considerably more concerning.
Yeah, so here's another Questing Beast from Michael.
And we ripped
Puts Brett to
Domri
12.
off the top. That is
nice
here.
Yeah. Domri will come down.
It's just going to die to a Questing Beast trigger next turn, more than likely.
Yeah,
but
does...
until then, it kills the zombie.
Yeah, it does some good things in the interim, so I'm pretty okay with it. And I think Brett is kind of just waiting this out. Here's a Cruel Spellbreaker for 2 mana. It's going to get
Triggers.
a +1/+1 counter from Grumgully and take 2 damage from Marauding Raptor. Of course, also not a dinosaur, so no pump on the Marauding Raptor, unfortunately. Marauding Raptor really kind of... Marauding Raptor really kind of showing off this game. It looks really good, actually.
Yeah.
Like, he's just played a bunch of undercost fatties, and they look good.
They do look good.
So I think I would like to see a fight from...
the Marauding Raptor onto the 2/2.
Yep.
And then attack.
Just attack with everything.
Yep.
If Michael blocks the Gruul Spellbreaker, which will be the biggest creature at 5 power, then... Ooh.
We're just trading off our Grumgully here.
Sure, I suppose.
Don't hate that either.
Yeah, and then attack here.
Send in.
The Gruul Spellbreaker has taken 2 damage from the Marauding Raptor, so the zombie army can actually trade with it.
Yeah.
Of course, he will still take some trample damage. I believe Gruul Spellbreaker has trample.
That sounds right to me.
And so he's going to take 2 from the Marauding Raptor and 3.
Oh, no.
Negative?
Trample on
No
the
trample?
Gruul
Okay.
Spellbreaker.
Just right? Alright. My bad. I just think every Gruul card has
every
trample.
Gruul card should have trample.
Which, Oh, it does have trample.
Totally
Aha! I was right. So I believe that Michael should have also taken 3 from that Gruul Spellbreaker there. So I believe
oh yes, we're fixing
Mike should be at 3 less life and then taking 2 on his upkeep down to 1 from
Yikes.
the Dreadhorde. So I mean, we're at a point where Brett's just gonna ship the turn right on back and we're done here. So unless Michael has ways to deal with these Dreadhorde invasions, he is going to be falling to them. I don't see any ways to deal with them in his hand or any ways to gain life. I see Legion's End, which of course is very good, but
fine,
not
but
good here.
Enough.
And let's see what he can figure out.
Mana.
Another Questing Beast? Vraska. Vraska can Abrupt Decay 1.
You can sacrifice it to gain a life.
Yeah, that'll do.
That'll
do the trick. All
Put
right.
him to 2.
Crafty Devil Michael
Crafty
will
Devil,
figure out how
indeed.
to live one more turn. Is that a blast zone? Oh boy.
Gotta love colorless lands in
Yeah.
your 3-color deck.
I don't know about that one, but yeah, we've got our colors here, so
We
it's
do,
probably
yeah,
all right.
It looks pretty decent on this board.
It does, yeah. So, here's a land drop, not Blast Zone. Legion's End, your Marauding Raptor, just lands in hand.
Uh-oh.
Oh no. Are we gonna lose this game?
Not if we draw Questing Beast.
That would be heartbreaking to lose this game.
Does
From Brett.
Does appear as though Michael has stabilized.
Looks stable to me. If Brett draws any threat, it's gonna be bad, but we look stable right now. Ooh, Gruul Spellbreaker? Is that lethal?
Yes. It is indeed.
3/3. We
3/3
can't
trample
fight.
haste.
Yeah, 4 power.
Yeah, you just
4 power trample haste.
Well, it would be lethal even as a 3/3. Since Michael would be taking
the 1 damage on this upkeep.
Yep.
So, whew. I didn't think
By
Brett
the
could ever
skin of his
lose,
teeth.
and then he almost did,
Yeah.
but he manages to close it up regardless. So, pretty sick game 1 there, actually. And with that, we're going to take to the sideboards. Michael in the sideboard has 1 Casualties of War, 1 Vraska Golgari Queen, 1 Questing Beast, 3 Witch's Vengeance, 2 Return to Nature, 2 Mystical Disputes, 3 Duress, and 2 the Elder Spell. What do you think's good?
I think Vraska, again, quite good here.
Vraska looks excellent.
Same with the Questing Beast. I'm less on Witch's Vengeance in this particular matchup.
I think the creatures are a little too big.
Does name whatever Arboreal Grazer's creature type is.
Beast. And Dinosaur for that
and-
stupid raptor.
Uh,
And that's kind of
However-
about it. It kills Grumgully, I suppose, as well.
kills Grumgully.
But for 3 mana, we can do better than
You
that,
can
I think.
certainly do better than that. So I'm pretty much just in on the 2/4 drops. You could also, if you really want to get
big.
feisty,
Doing-
you could jam that Casualties of War.
Oh,
I
yeah.
wouldn't hate it.
I actually do like the Casualties of War here. Gruul is a more aggressive strategy, but they tend to have a more varied permanent type, and usually paying 6 mana to kill a Domri and a creature is something you're in for.
Absolutely.
And they don't often spend the first few turns of the game just being really aggressive, especially when you're on the play. I feel like you can greed out a little bit with that big removal spell. And
Certainly.
I've found it to be pretty good against the slower, bigger, aggressive decks.
Yes.
Meanwhile, over on Brett's side, we have 1 Tybalt Rakish
Air.
Rakish Air. I was going to say Rakish Fiend.
Unless it's Rakish, unless it's something. Is it
I believe
Tybalt?
it's Rakish Air.
It's not. It doesn't have something to do with Investigator.
No,
What's
you're
that?
just
What
thinking.
am I thinking
you're
of?
just thinking of the Japanese alt art
Am I
where he
just
looks
thinking
where
of
he
the
looks
anime art?
where
Okay.
he just looks like Phoenix Wright. All right, so we have 1 Tybalt Rakish Air, 1 Cindervines, 1 Bolt Bend, 2 Flame Sweep, 1 Oakham Adversary, 1 Sorceress Spyglass, 4 Shifting Ceratops, 2 Veil of Summer, and a Domri Anarch of Bolas. What seems good to you?
I think we bring in these Veil of Summers for sure. Not close.
Absolutely.
The Domri seems pretty good here.
I tend to like the Tybalt as well.
Yeah, they both let you grind out of bigger board states.
For sure. Maybe
And Tybalt
maybe the
stops your
Tybalt
opponent from
will-
stabilizing quite so quickly.
the Tybalt will end up, killing Michael with his Dreadhorde invasions or whatever. He can't gain the life back. He also has a bunch of food
Exactly.
and whatever, so the Tybalt seems good to me.
I don't hate Shifting Ceratopsies, but I don't think they're phenomenal either.
Yeah, I don't think Michael's deck is blue enough to make it relevant.
Yeah.
The only real spell that would get pointed at a Shifting Ceratops that's blue in this deck is like an Oko Plus.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's kind of whatever,
That is indeed whatever.
Maybe we need the Spyglass because we're too scared of Oko.
We're reasonably scared of Oko, but I don't know.
I don't
if
hate
we're
that.
Scared of Oko.
I don't really know if our deck can beat it, but I don't know. Maybe Brett's got it all pieced together a little better than we do.
And
So,
then this Bolt Bend.
I'm leaving that one where it is.
I can't remember the exact Oracle text on that card.
It's essentially misdirects.
It misdirects
Yeah.
something. I don't know.
I
I
guess.
don't think I hate it, but
I don't
I also
know.
don't
Have you
really
ever-
like it very much.
Yeah,
I
I
guess
tend
I
to
don't
agree.
know where. There's vulnerability with a single target.
Yeah. So you can
I
redirect
guess-
most things.
I guess I don't know why it's in our sideboard if not for this matchup that's full of removal spells.
Sure. I suppose that makes enough sense to me.
So that's
Maybe
that's-
we're bringing it in. there's just a lot of the removal spells have random conditions.
That's true.
That make it so you can't redirect them to the things you want, like Legion's End or Assassin's Trophy can't be redirected to any of their permanents.
Can't be redirected.
Yeah.
However, Legion's End will often be able to find a target in this matchup. Same with Noxious Grasp.
That's true. It's true, but not always. And that feels really bad when you've finally did the things for your bolt bend,
and then it doesn't actually do anything.
Yeah.
TLDR, I don't think this card is fantastic. But who knows? Maybe there's some particular...
Brett will be able to play it for red most of the time.
Yeah, maybe there's some particular
deck that we're not thinking
in this
about.
format that's for, but
it's also pretty good against the counterspell decks. So
yeah, not bad.
You know, it's definitely has its uses. It's these type of redirect effects, they're traditionally played little in Magic, because they are situational, but they are huge blowouts.
Yes, whenever
when
you
they
can
happen.
get it to go off.
Yeah, every
boy,
time
is it strong.
Every time you ricochet trap somebody, it's absurd.
Absolute nuts.
Yeah, when you get somebody with a good ricochet trap, it is really unreasonable a lot of the time. All right, both players taking a look at, I believe this is sixes.
Ember Cleave.
Oh
baby.
Yeah, you mean
Get
3/3 elk.
The cleaver.
You surely mean 3/3 elk. I've
had enough Twitter for today. I don't need more 3/3 elk memes.
There's so many good
much.
3/3 elk memes. I really loved the arena screenshot of all the multicolored creatures, and it was just like Judith the 3/3, Judith the Scourge elk. Yeah.
Indeed.
Niv Mizzet elk. It's just all the elk art with the 3/3 in the power toughness box. It's so good. I love it. Oko, pretty unreasonable card.
Pretty
unreasonable. Pretty
indeed.
unreasonable.
I heard you like 3/3s.
I think this might be a mold of 5 from Michael.
It does look like a mold of 5. Never a good sign. Not something you want to see. Certainly more forgiving now that we have the London Mulligan.
I believe Brett's on 6 though, so it's less of a death sentence. It's effectively a mold of 6 here, assuming that your hand functions.
That's
which
true.
is always the biggest risk on a mold of 5.
A little bit spooky.
When your opponent mulligans and you're on a mold of 5, it feels like a mold of 6 because you're only down 1 card, but your hand is so much less likely to function.
Yeah.
That is a big problem. So we'll see, and of course on the play as well, being at 5 cards, pretty brutal. Here is Forest Heart's Desire from Michael. Gonna go ahead and send the turn back over to Brett. Draws a second copy of Cruel Spellbreaker.
Foil Castle Garen Break.
Enters tapped. Yikes.
Yeah, it matters considerably. Well, I guess unless you want to cast your Arboreal Grazers, that is.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Arboreal Grazer less good on turn 2 than turn 1. I think just a couple of mountains in hand. Oh no. I can't look. Not the second castle. Anything but that. Here is the dino. You know him. You love him. Dreadhorde Invasion off the top. Meanwhile, Michael's got some stuff going on. He's got a Goose. He's got a Dreadhorde Invasion. He's got an Oko. You know, this looks pretty good.
Looks, rather unbeatable.
Yeah, this is a pretty good mold of 5. You know, just a little bit of Goose Oko Dreadhorde Invasion action. I'm pretty sure that's what the deck's trying to do. So, I'm pretty about this.
Can't imagine that we don't cast Oko right here, but
I don't hate getting the Dreadhorde Invasion. The Dreadhorde Invasion.
I think that if you are able to get your Oko in play and up to such high loyalty before Brett's able to establish a board, that it's just not going to die for the entire game and absolutely take over.
I tend to agree. We can turn our 3/3 or our 1/1 into a 3/3 elk. I don't hate that one.
Well,
looks like Michael's going with the Dreadhorde Invasion. Like I said, I don't hate it. It's going to start pumping out 4/4s next turn.
It's true.
So that's going to be really, really hard for Brett to beat. Let's see what he's got. Ooh, Stomping Ground. Thank God.
Beautiful top deck. Yeah.
Whew. I think Brett would have had to have missed his land drop out of shame.
Yep.
As opposed to playing that
Absolutely,
second Castle
yeah.
Garenbrig. I just don't think you have another option, really.
No,
actually,
you really don't.
I think
It's sort of
playing
like
the second Castle Garenbrig tapped is just like I think I'd rather go to game 3
sort of
than
like
admit
picking
that
up
I
your
live in
cards when
that
your opponent's
reality.
dead on turn 5 of turns.
Yeah, pretty much. All right, so we've got Brett here debating what he wants to do with his turn. Of course, he has some Gruul Spellbreakers that he can slam if he would like. Looks like he will be taking 2 damage. Perhaps a Questing Beast will be joining us this turn. Oh, Domri.
Interesting.
Oh, we get to fight the goose? Oh, no. Oh, that's really bad for Michael.
Terrible for Michael.
Oh, we got really
We
punished.
got mega punished.
Uh-oh. Of course, no attack.
1-1.
That 1-1, pretty threatening. Don't want to lose our Domri to a 1-1.
No, certainly
Yeah,
not.
not worth trading 2 damage for 1 damage to
Here's
lose
the
our
Roko off the top.
Oh, yeah.
Just kind of rubbing it in.
Yo, guys, I heard you said I was unreasonable. Here to show you just how unreasonable I am. Michael, that's the look of a man who mulliganed to 5.
Yep.
Yep. Heartbreaking, of course.
Always.
Looks like he's got another Dreadhorde invasion coming down. That is going to put quite a bit of pressure on Brett eventually.
Yep. We're not quite there yet. But...
Yeah. He is going to have to deal with it soon. All right, there's the Castle Garenbrig. Let's see what Brett has in store this turn. Of course, that Dreadhorde invasion makes a 1-1. It'll turn it into a 3-3 on the next turn. Is that a Shifting Ceratops there in Brett's hand?
Appear
I
to be
believe that was the
so.
card he drew. Brett with
that
access
gets to come down hasty this turn.
Yeah, Brett with access to 5 mana this turn, effectively 6 because of the Marauding Raptor's reducing cost. And the more creatures he plays this turn, the more mana generation he'll be able to get from it. So here's a Questing Beast. He's got 2 Gruul Spellbreakers in his hand, so he's going to get to play
one
Questing Beast and Gruul Spellbreaker this turn with only 4 lands in play.
Yep.
That's pretty insane.
Alright.
Yeah.
Give it that counter.
Yep, give it the counter. And
in with the team, I imagine.
Yeah. Of course, Michael can't block with the Questing Beast, so it doesn't really matter that it has 2 damage marked on it. And Michael doesn't have any good blocks here, so I expect him to just take 6. Yep. So, sorry, take 8. Because the Domri, of course, giving his creatures +1 power. Mm-hmm. So 2 triggers here will put Michael down to 9. And then give Michael a 3-3. Let's see what he draws. Is that a Vraska? I believe that's a Vraska.
Well, we've got a whole bunch of Planeswalkers and nothing to do with them.
Uncastable spells.
Ever heard of Moldify?
Yeah, it's hard to see.
I heard you
see,
not casting your spells.
Yeah, he's
Yep,
just got
goes.
nothing. There's the handshake.
You
hate to see it,
an
but
unfortunate end.
Is what it is. And, well, yeah, congratulations to Brett for picking up the win there. He did not shame concede to having to play a second Castle Garenbrig tapped, which I will, a greater man than me,
Yes,
I would say.
yeah.
Of course, he got the stopping ground, so he never really got put to the test. But when I drew that Castle Garenbrig, I think that would have been it. I think my mental would have been gone, and I would have been selling him to the shop and buying forests between rounds. I'm pretty sure. Anyways, I would love to take a moment to thank our third sponsor for the stream for tonight. Advancify is an excellent tech, IT, web design, and data recovery company. They're good friends of ours, and they work super hard to make sure to give you quick service, make sure everything you need to get done is done quickly, and honestly, they do a great job. Big shout out to Advancify for sponsoring the stream. So if you need anything related to IT, web design, data recovery, or technology related, go ahead and head to advancify.me and let them know that we sent you. It helps us out, it helps them out, and everybody's all about helping each other out. So thank you so much.
As if we're growing together.
Yes, thank you so much to Advancify for sponsoring the stream. With that, we will be leaving you with some hot damn scandal, and we will be back for the last round of the night. Thank you so much. I'll see you soon.
bottom fell out of the clouds today, and the rain came down like a mirror. One big sheet and it shattered on the ground. Now it's 7 years of bad luck all over this town. It's collection time on all of your debts, and you can't get by just talking. Your smile don't work and your car don't start, and your doors ain't keeping you alone. No, not even if you lock them. No, not even if you lock them. When you're tapped into that bitter vein, just about anything feels good. The sun tried shining on a lost boy's eyes. They reflected oh so pretty, but it's cold behind them golden shores, and the sweet light wasn't nothing more than their own damn wishing, 'cause they just don't listen. Now wish on your candles, pray to your God, cry for your mama, put $1 on the bar. It feels like breathing, but the only good feeling ain't a gamble is a sin. So I think I play it safe and get a gin. I'll take the devil for a spin. When you're tapped into that bitter vein, just about anything feels good. For some the morning brings another day, but all it does for me is shine an ugly light around in the room that I've been hiding in. Now I take the easy way, yeah, that gets harder every day, but I ain't here to fix myself. I'm just trying to blind these eyes from hell. When you're tapped into that bitter vein, just about anything feels good. I like to swim at the bottom of the barrel. I like to sleep in hidey holes and barroom stalls. I like to hear the piano playing in the bloody little dawn. I like to wake up with the devil and drink him till he's gone. The queen is drunk and someone armed the pawns. Oh, the truth they say is an acquired taste, a vice I've never thought to own. There is no cleaner left, so we filter it through cigarettes. But the gambler's mercy keeps us blind and vain. I've been relying on my bruises, defined my edges against skies of gray. But now my worries are far away. The sky is clear, and I begin to fade. Once I believed in paradise, a place where I would never feel no pain, a state of mind I'd never have to change. But now it all looks alright, and I begin to fade. Trouble, I need you. I don't know what I am, but I ain't nothing without these blues. I've heard a million happy endings. I've seen the good guys win, I've seen the bad guys pay. But now I never read that final page, 'cause in that sunset ride, yeah, I begin to fade. Trouble, I need you. I don't know what I am, but I ain't nothing without these blues. There's heaven for the hopeless, a place where we can all still wax and wane, a place where cloudy skies can still bring rain. So in my shaking faith, I clasp my hands and pray. I pray for trouble.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the fourth and final round here at Paradise Games. We have Bryant and Sabian playing some games here tonight. I believe we have Jeskai Draw 2.
Jeskai Bad Stuff, as it has been called by the creator.
Versus Grixis Fires of Invention. So we're going to see, I expect some mid-ranging to go on, and I expect Sabian to go pretty far over the top of whatever Bryant's doing here.
Unfortunately for Bryant, I believe that will be the case.
Thought Erasure here, so we're going to get a good look at what's going on. There we see Double Deafening Clarion, Ironcrag Pyromancer, and the Royal Scions here in hand. I would expect the Royal Scions to get out of here, because that Ironcrag Pyromancer looks pretty bad in that hand if you leave him with that. And these Deafening Clarions are so bad against your deck, I think I want to just strand them in my opponent's hand.
Oh, absolutely.
So I think I tend to disagree with this choice here from Sabian. Unless Sabian has a particularly powerful answer to this Royal Scions, I think it's probably just going to ult. And that's kind of a problem. Alright.
I mean, the Elder Spell.
Potentially a Narset coming down. Dismal Backwater here.
Yeah, Sabian's playing multiple Dismal Backwater. Maybe the full 4.
I think he is. Oh, the Elder Spell. That is definitely a reasonable answer to the Royal Scions. Ooh. That, Kaikar, that's the one. I know what it does, but I don't know the name. So,
whenever Bryant casts an instant or sorcery spell, Kaikar is going to make a 1/1 white spirit token with flying. And Kaikar
Indeed.
also says, sacrifice a spirit to add 1 red mana.
Yep, pretty good. So, we're seeing Drawn from Dreams here from Sabian.
Dig through time
We'll
light.
see what he wants to find. He gets to put 2 of these cards into his hand. No Fires of Invention anywhere in sight, unfortunately. That is, of course, the namesake card in Sabian's deck. Allows him to do pretty absurd things with the double mana. Things like, basically Sabian's plan here is just jam 2 unbeatable threats on every turn of the game for the rest of the turn. So, Nicol Bolas, Chandra, Liliana, just, board clear here, removal spell there, enter the God Eternals. Whatever you need to do to just create an overwhelming board state is basically Sabian's plan. So here's a Hallowed Fountain tapped from Bryant, an attack for 3 from Kaikar. Send the turn back.
Sabian to 19.
Yeah, not a particularly powerful board state Bryant has produced. Just got a bunch of lands, only 2 cards in hand somehow. Sabian, of course, looking at basically still a full grip. Ooh, here is the Fires of Invention. Looks like he managed to find one. Let's see what else he can do this turn. Nicol Bolas. A down tick on Kaikar. Ooh, looks like Brazen Borrower will return the Kaikar.
Return the Fires. You can't return.
Oh, yeah,
you can't return your own.
So end of turn. Return the. I think this is in response so that he gets a 1/1 from the Kaikar. I do believe, with the Petty Theft. So Kaikar will make a 1/1. The Brazen Borrower will come in as a 3/1. What am I missing? Oh, it looks like Sabian. This was in response to the Nicol Bolas, and it looks like Sabian just plussed it. That makes sense to me. If he's got like a board clear, board wipe of some kind, or removal spell, that is a pretty good way to deal with that. Let's see if Sabian sweeps it up. He's got that Fires. He's going to replay that. Oh, looks like, ooh, a Zorb right off the top. That's pretty good.
We're not making dudes off our Kaikar. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, looks like we only have one, so we must have missed the Petty Theft trigger.
Petty Theft trigger, indeed.
Alright, Watery Grave will enter the battlefield tapped. Or untapped, maybe?
Are we casting a Fave Wishes? I think we might just be casting Fave Wishes here.
Yeah, I don't hate it. It brawls pretty well with this Brazen Borrower.
Yeah.
And we don't want to die. Our hand is so powerful that, I'm pretty big fan of just keeping our life total high. Looks like a 1/1 and a 3/3 getting in there. Just going to eat the 1/1, I think.
Absolutely.
Looks like Sabian is going to elect to save the life and just take the 1. We'll see how long he keeps this up and if it would have ended up being net life positive for him to do the other play. Looks like he does have a Thought Erasure, so he's presumably leading with that. Make sure the road is clear. Just a fabled passage. Sabian still gets to surveil. See what that top card is. I'm not sure. Can't get a good look at it from here. But it looks like it is going to stay on top. Looks like Sabian has another Bay of Wishes in his hand, so he's going to go ahead and cast Granted with this one. Let's see what he finds.
Imagine
some big dumb planeswalker, probably.
Either a big dumb planeswalker or something like Enter the God Eternals.
Yeah, Enter the God Eternals doesn't
Get
seem
one
bad
of these
at all.
pesky threats off the board.
Captive Audience, maybe? It looks like that's the one
God.
Sabian's looking at right now. We'll see if he wants the Captive Audience. I don't hate Captive Audience. It does look good on this board. Definitely pretty hard for Bryant to beat a Captive Audience if Sabian just untapped and played
Looks
it.
like Sabian's contemplating Spark Double here. Is that... No, wait. What is that?
There
It
is a
can't
Spark
be
Double. It is a Spark Double.
Okay, well... hope he's
But
not
that
gonna
can't be
grant it for
right.
that.
Yeah.
Well, you can't. You just can't do
Yeah,
that.
that is not a legal choice. So, hopefully he's going to have to reconsider.
Hopefully that's not how he got that Spark Double into play earlier this evening.
Yeah, perhaps a nice ethereal absolution, but we don't have our fires, unfortunately, so he's definitely limited to spells in Grixis. I know he has a couple like a Casualties of War and Plain-Wide Celebration in that board that are wish targets, and ethereal absolution, but of course ethereal absolution cannot be cast until he finds a Fires of Invention, so we'll see if he ever manages to find one. I don't think he has it in hand, so definitely pretty greedy from Sabian. There's that Fabled Passage that we knew Bryant had. We'll see if Bryant makes the same attacks as last turn. Ooh, getting in with everything this time. Sabian's block immediate. He'll kill the Brazen Borrower and send Bryant... and Bryant will send Sabian down to 15. I do like that attack from Bryant. If your opponent gets the Ethereal Absolution, you got to be reasonably confident he just has another Fires and can cast it, but it's definitely somewhat strange, regardless. Okay. So...
Here comes the second Fae of Wishes.
yeah, cast a Fae of Wishes here.
Blocks pretty well.
Yep. Got the board basically entirely gummed up here, but we can't cast this this Ethereal Absolution. I really would have preferred to see Captive Audience. I think that would have been pretty good here. I think another Brazen Borrower off the top here for Bryant, and also the 7th land in hand, which of course isn't great.
Nope.
I wonder if we're going to see a Castle Lochthwain activation from Sabian here. I wonder if he's feeling that good and just wants to rip an extra card and, to hell with his life total. I wouldn't hate that. I think he's only got 3 cards in hand, so I don't mind taking 4 for 1 card here.
Certainly not.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty into that for this turn. We're really trying to find a Fires or whatever.
Casting
I think Ethereal.
I think we really can't cast this Petty Theft here, which is what it looked like Brian was
Yeah,
thinking
unfortunately. Yeah, it's just too bad.
Because he also just gets to blanket.
Yeah, Sabian's going to think about the activation here. Looks like he's going to... Decides against it. Alright. Nicol Bolas off the top, the Dragon God. I think we're just casting that and plussing. I think that's a pretty unbeatable
Looks
threat.
like we're casting Chandra. And
Chandra
maybe,
also pretty unbeatable. I still like plus
-3
here.
Or minus... Yeah, it's -3.
I think I would still plus. You could just
Yeah,
start putting a clock on your opponent. Your opponent obviously doesn't have anything relevant going on right now.
Yeah,
Just tick it up. This Kaikar isn't doing anything relevant right now.
No, it's really not even coming close to doing anything relevant.
We have 2 1/4s to block, and if he ever tries to remove them, we can just pick the 1/4 up or whatever.
Yeah.
But it does look like Sabian will go with the -3. Using the second mode, of course, is definitely correct. Here's the Petty Theft from the Brazen Borrower in response, which is going to return, presumably, Chandra to Sabian's hand. I cannot do that. Or, yeah, whatever. We'll see what's happening. It's returning Fae of Wishes. Yikes. And then Kaikar will die.
What's happening right now? Was there a Chandra minus?
It was Chandra minus X, where X is 3, to deal 3 damage to Kaikar.
Why exactly?
Yeah, it keeps your Fae of Wishes out of shock range. It's probably correct. but it is a little awkward with the Kaikar in play because it seems likely that a 1/1 will come down in response to that ability.
Yeah, I
so
really don't like
definitely
that
up for debate.
line.
Here is a Fabled Passage from Bryant.
Oh, it exiles. Oh, that's pretty legit, I guess.
It does exile Kaikar.
Matters.
That is somewhat relevant. Here is the Chandra taking 1 damage. Down to 2 now is Chandra. But of course, she's going to start +2ing here pretty soon. So let's see what Sabian drew. This is a very powerful hand at this point. This Grixis Fire's deck, if you don't kill it...
If you don't kill it real quick, you're going to get trampled by Planeswalkers.
Yeah, it goes really big. So...
really big relatively fast.
Yeah, we'll see what Sabian manages to do here. Here's the Narset, which is going to lock Bryant out from being able to play any of his draw spells. I think Narset, a real bomb against Bryant here, because his deck really relies on being able to draw 2 cards a turn. There's the Fire's Invention, which will allow Sabian to turn on his Ethereal Absolution. Let's see what he wants to take. It looks like he's going with Sark in the Masterless instead.
Certainly.
That one will kill his opponent. Yeah, so I'm a pretty big fan of that. Here's Nicol Bolas. Oh boy.
You see the slamming down.
Here's my 5 lands. +1, draw a card, exile a permanent or a card in your hand. Here's a +1, give you an emblem. And yeah, I think Bryant's just mega dead this game.
Yep.
Even without the Fire's Invention, Sabian just managed to handily go way over the top of whatever Bryant could do. And I will be stunned if Bryant can pull a miracle comeback out of his hat this game, and you see Sabian doesn't even attack with the Fae of Wishes. The Elder Spell off the top is basically it. Why is the bad deck so good? It's a good point. Let's see what we got. We got a Teferi. Yeah, I think we're done here. Teferi does nothing. You could give that You could give that Fae of Wishes back to your opponent.
Yep.
Just be a nice guy.
Yep. Okay. That looks like the line.
Oh yeah. I mean, probably just minus on nothing. Yes. Hello, Brian. Brick has a stick. How are you doing tonight? Thanks for tuning in. All right. Let's see how Sabian decides to. Oh yeah, there's a whole lot of nothing going on here. I mean, he can't even minus to draw a card because the Narset. It's terrible. Oh, that's good to hear. All right, we got a Narset minus picking up something. Thank you for the compliment. Much appreciated. Hey, our biggest fan.
Holy crap. We found them.
I didn't know my mom watched Twitch.
I knew they existed somewhere.
Oh, wait, did Bryant bring the Hot Pocket in?
Brian did.
Oh, man, he's so much... Yeah, Sabian might win this game, but Bryant's definitely winning in at heart.
Definitely considerably more jealous of Bryant right now than
no
Sabian.
Joke. I'm actually real hungry. All right, so Sabian just looking down at his embarrassment of riches.
Yeah, I know, right? It's which
just cast your spells and kill your opponent. Come on.
Attack for lethal.
We don't have to be here too. All right. So we've got here's the attack with everything that can. This is an attack for 15, putting Bryant down to 5. Plus the Chandra will put him down to 3 on his upkeep.
We gotta kill the.
Oh yeah, that's a fair. Yeah, get it out of here. That's obviously.
Rub it in.
That's obviously way too good.
Boy.
And Brian will take a draw step,
and
pick it up,
and done here.
Yeah, let's
go
ahead and check out both players' sideboard here. I've. Oh dear God! We'll get to that in a second. Bryant has 4 Bone Crusher Giant, 1 Chandra Acolyte of Flame, 2 Hypnotic Sprite, 1 Negate, 1 Muyan Ling, 2 Giant Killer, 1 Chandra Awakened Inferno, 1 Planar Cleansing, 1 God Eternal Oketra, and 1 Jace Wielder of Mysteries. What sounds good here?
Eternal Oketra.
Yeah, I don't think we have enough
That's
creatures
pretty sick.
for that one.
Planar Cleansing is the nuts. Chandra Awakened Inferno, probably pretty decent. And same with Negate. Other than that, I think we are just...
Yeah.
Hanging up.
I could get behind the Chandra as well. It's a reasonable...
Chandra.
Honestly, both Chandras.
Yeah, I think Big Chandra's definitely good.
Yeah. All right, yeah, not too many changes. Just get a little bigger and try and win this mid-range mirror.
Try and out mid-range your opponent whose deck is built to out mid-range you. Yikes.
All right. On the other side, we have Sabian sideboard. We have 1 Duress, 1 Legion's End, 1 The Elder Spell, 1 Noxious Grasp, 1 Unmoored Ego, 1 Ashiok Dream Render, 2 Enter the God Eternals, 1 Spark Double, 1 Time Light, 1 Ethereal Absolation, 1 Thought Distortion, 1 Casualties of War, 1 Plain-White Celebration, and 1 Captive Audience. So, obviously we're going to be leaving all of our Wishboard targets, I think. I
think we bring the Duress in.
Yeah, the Duress is obviously coming in.
Other than that...
I think it's just Duress in, Spark Double in, and axe the rest.
I don't even know if we want Spark Double in. Like, I don't think it matters.
Sure. I don't hate that.
I'm like... I guess I'm not 100% on that, but I'm reasonably convinced that Spark Double doesn't
do anything.
Doesn't really do enough.
Yeah, it's not bad. I mean, if you're trying to go big in
definitely...
this like mid-range battle, it's pretty good. But if Bryant is bringing in a lot of answers for all of the threats that you have, then there's a potential that it's just going to be sitting in your hand for the entirety of the game.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a risk, but I still think it's just going to be powerful enough most of the time that I would probably bring it in. But
that's legit.
Yeah, I don't hate leaving it in the sideboard. Obviously, we're not making too many changes. I think it's like the 1 Duress, and then we're probably shuffling.
Yeah, that's
so we could see Sabian shuffling and Bryant in the tank. Yeah, that tracks. There's also an argument on Bryant's side to just bring in the 4 Bone Crusher Giants and try to attack. If you think that you just can't play a longer game, maybe you hope that your opponent stumbles and you just play a 3-mana 4/3 and attack with it.
It's a pretty bold line, but I think I can get behind it.
Yeah, I don't hate that line. If that's the line Bryant decides to take, I'm not going to ridicule him for it. Just a Bone Crusher Giant and a couple well-placed counterspells. Maybe that's a way to do it, We'll see. But it looks like both players have decided what they want to do. Looks like Sabian taking a look at his precious tokens. So it looks like he's bragging about his tokens. I like that. Everybody's got to have some good tokens.
Good tokens, the hallmark of a good Magic player.
Agreed, absolutely. All right, so Bryant with a look at his opening hand. Looks like both players taking a peek here. Looks like keep on both sides. And let's get off to the races here. Fabled Passage on turn 1 from Bryant. And let's see a Blood Crypt tapped from Sabian. And heading on back over to Bryant's side.
Fabled Passage. This card's nuts.
It's really good.
I'm playing it in my Legacy deck at the moment. It's that good.
Mister, I don't want to buy dual lands.
Yeah,
All right. We've got... Was that a negate off the top? I believe it was. Here is a shock from a Hallowed Fountain and pass the turn. So Sabian's probably got to know something's up. Jams the Thought Erasure into it anyway. Oh, it's a quench. Okay, well, you got to do what you got to do.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
All right, let's see what Bryant's got here.
Oh,
no, don't tell me.
When we didn't cast our option, our main phase to look for it? Oh, no.
Oh, no, not like this.
Anything but that.
Not like this. All right, looks like untapped land go. End step opt from Bryant. Looking for lands, obviously. Not a land. We'll go to the bottom. Yeah, definitely would have preferred that main phase opt so that we could miss our lands.
Oh, we hit 2 lands off the top too. That's
a tilter.
Yeah.
Could have 4 lands here. Oh well. It looks like Bryant. It's not really going to cost him anything. Bryant, of course, does still have his counterspell up. He's got an Ionize. He's sitting on in his hand right now. Players just tossing cards back and forth. So it doesn't look like there's really anything too relevant going on here. Sabian has a Duress in his hand. Looks like he's kind of biding his time with that Duress. Probably trying to play Duress and then like a Fire Zone Invention in the same turn to sneak it through. Looks like Sabian's just gonna jam out a
Super
Granted.
can't let this
Yeah,
resolve.
I don't think that one's gonna happen. Oh, it resolved?
So no.
Wow. I don't think I agree with that. Yeah, Sabian just grabs a dress. I think I like that line.
Now we're just gonna
Get a swamp and duress you. Looks like the play from Sabian. I'm a little perplexed as to why he wouldn't just play the duress in his hand.
I'm not sure that he had
Yeah,
duress
he
in his
might
hand.
not.
Maybe.
but
I didn't see that, but I
Alright.
wasn't looking particularly closely.
I might just be mistaken.
Also, interestingly, that would mean he would be playing main deck duress, which is like entirely legitimate.
Yeah, which is plausible, but yeah, you're right. It would be. I sort of realized that as well. And then Bryant forced to counterspell the duress. I'm definitely feeling pretty bad about letting that Granted resolve. He could have dealt with that Fae of Wishes at the same time. And now it's going to be a problem later. Enter the God Eternals here in Sabian's hand still.
It's like we're just casting dig through time.
Yeah, I can't
it's
say I
never
hate
bad.
it. Yeah, I expect a negate here from Bryant. We can't really let that card resolve. It's just so good. But looks like Bryant taking a pretty hard stance here. He's only countering the threats, or I expect the Fires of Invention, and he's just gonna let everything else through.
And that's a legitimate line of play.
Yeah,
But
it's not bad.
I think it gets to a point where
Sabian's
your
deck is all of
opponent's
them. It's
going
all
to
that.
accrue enough cards
Yeah.
that it is not going.
It's not gonna work. Yeah, we can't expect to have enough counterspells to deal with all his threats. And, Sabian just took 2 cards that are probably would like to be counterspelled off of that Drawn from Dreams, most of the time, right? Yep. And I think that you're just gonna want to counter that, I believe. All right. So we have a mountain from Sabian. Let's see what he wants to do with this mana. He is fetching with his Fabled Passage on his main phase. No, looks like he's just shortcutting a little bit. Another land from Bryant. Temple of Epiphany. He'll scry 1. Looks like that one will stay on top. And then let's see what his second card is. Looks like the Royal Scions. Potentially coming down here. It is. He'll get to +1. Draw, then discard. So he'll get to loot away some of these extra lands that he keeps finding. And of course, he did put a card on top.
Interestingly enough, Bryant went from pretty screwed to quite flooded.
Missing his second land drop to only drawing
turns.
lands. Yeah, the classic.
There comes Chandra.
Oh,
Now we're gonna
Chandra
see
cannot
that
be countered.
negate.
Cannot
we're
be
not.
countered.
Never mind.
No, sir. Yeah, Brian's gonna need to find a way to beat that.
Lands staple Chandra Awakened Inferno.
Yeah, I don't really know what Brian's plan is. He's just gonna take 1 every turn, and then 2 every turn, and then 3 every turn. Does he have a way to get this off the board currently? There's an Opt off the top of the deck. Hopefully that can find him something good. And of course, Royal Silence can dig 2 to Fairy even as well if it really needs to.
If we're that desperate, which honestly,
Which
I
it looks
think
like we
might
are.
be.
Yeah,
Really
starting with
need to
Opt.
answer
Yeah.
this Chandra either this turn or next turn if we want to have any hope of winning this game.
Yeah, pretty much. Looks like bottom. Here's a draw.
That's pretty good.
Sound Chandra. Okay. That does kind of do the thing.
If we can just kill our opponent before they kill us.
Yeah, that's not a bad line, with a Royal Scion's ult or whatever,
Yep.
we might actually be able to.
Turn the tides.
Here's a plus from the Royal Scions. He will draw 1 card and then discard 1 card. Looks like Kaikar off the top.
Can't believe that we're keeping this. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, the Mu Yanling.
Wait, and passing?
Not the best. Oh, passing.
Wait. Does he have counterspells? He must.
He definitely has
He
at
doesn't
least
have
a
a
negate.
Nautic
He also has a
Sprite.
Nautic Sprite, so he's got counterspells aplenty, but he is just going to lose to Chandra, pretty soon. So,
Yeah.
we really need to find a way to deal with Chandra sooner rather than later. So let's see what
Does Chandra's
Sabian's
minus
got.
X hit face?
It does not.
Okay.
Swift End your Royal Scions. Hypnotic Sprite will counter that. Ding, ding, ding. That one's pretty good.
Yep.
All right. Sarkhan the Masterless in hand for Sabian.
Okay, we gotta negate that one. We gotta negate.
Yeah, I don't think we can reasonably let the second Fae of Wishes resolve. Looks like he won't.
Fantastic.
Especially because we've been leaving up, blue mana for
Yeah.
basically every turn of the game, the negate mana. Like, we really just want to get it out of our hands so we can start playing our spells on our main phase. We need some threats here.
Certainly.
I expect to see a plus from the Royal Silence here to start things off. Looks like we drew another land, and I'm not super about that, so probably going to get rid of it. Ooh, Ironcrag Pyromancer. 1 card too late.
Yep.
Unfortunately.
That'll put in some decent work to end the game here.
It will. Chandra notably also can put additional loyalty counters on this Royal Silence. Potentially get it up to an ult and surviving next turn.
That's the other Chandra.
Oh, that's the other Chandra.
Yeah,
my bad.
the other Chandra.
Alrighty. Here comes Chandra. We'll send it to 8. And now everybody gets to take damage.
Yep.
Whee!
We indeed.
Alright.
The interesting thing about Sabian's Chandra is that it's at 10 while Bryant's is at 8. And so Sabian can just snipe Bryant's Chandra with his.
Yeah,
in this position,
it's not great. And then Bryant's still going to be taking
ahead.
2 every turn. Yeah, it definitely doesn't feel great. Sabian also might just plus it again, because as long as Sabian's Chandra has more loyalty, which it always will.
Yep.
I would love Chandra plus here.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah, I think that is excellent.
It looks like that's what we're doing.
Yep, Chandra plus, I think is what just happened.
Yep, certainly.
Bryant takes 4. Yeah, I don't think he's going to be able to beat this.
Nope. There's
double Ironcrag Pyromancer is actually pretty good. That's a real clock.
Something? Yeah.
Yeah. The plus our Royal Scions. Draw 1 card, discard 1 card. 6, probably upstairs, right?
Yeah, I think you got us.
Yeah, just 6 upstairs. Have Chandra kill Nicol Bolas, probably.
Oh no, we upped
Uptick. No, to the races.
I mean,
burn him out.
We're gonna untap and kill our opponent.
Burn him out. Well, I mean,
except for the fact Ironcrag Pyromancer is a 0/4.
Yeah. Our opponent obviously is not go Ritual of Soot off the top.
Soot.
Oh my god.
What an absolute nightmare.
Oh, what an absolute madman. He just rips the Ritual of Soot. Are you kidding me? How you can't do that to him. You can't. This was so sick. He was just gonna snipe this game. Although, so I guess we cast Ritual of Soot and then destroy the Royal Scions because we don't want to lose to that.
Yeah.
And then probably just plus our Chandra again, give him a 5th one, and then next turn we'll be able to plus for a 6th one.
Yep.
And just kind of take him out. That looks like the game plan to me, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
Just set up a nice 2-turn lethal here and try and be safe about it. Here's the Ritual of Soot.
Oh.
You hate to see it.
Oh, so upsetting.
Yeah. Oh, he's got the Spark Double in his hand, too.
Can't cast this turn, though. But
more Chandras.
I mean, it's more Nicol Bolas, which is more Chandras.
Yeah.
It's all more Chandras.
So,
looks like we are indeed killing.
Yeah, he definitely needs to kill the Royal Scions here. Because the Royal Scions can ult, and that is lethal.
How many cards does Brad have in hand?
Just 1, but that 5s him, and then the Chandra Emblem will kill him.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. And also we'll draw for turn, so it'll be 6. Oh, no. Did he just double plus Chandra?
Uh-oh.
Oh, no. Whoopsies. Uh-oh, we're dead. Yikes. I think Sabian missed that one.
Yep.
Yeah. Royal Scion's ultimate here will be able to take the game for Bryant, I do believe. And yeah, he's just going to be able to drop to 3 and draw 4 and just straight kill him. No nothing required. So a bunch of no nonsense here. Draw 4 and send it all at you. And yep, that will do it.
That's the end of that.
Yeah. Sabian with his standard O. Yeah. Oh, yeah, right. Whoopsies. Yeah, definitely had that one locked up, but what's the word? Read the card. Read
the card. Explains
the card. Yeah, you gotta remember what's going on. Otherwise, you're gonna punt away the game like Sabian, which you hate to see it. You hate to see it. It happens to everyone. We're using Sabian as a learning experience for the masses. Sabian shouldn't think of this as a disaster. He should think of himself as a martyr.
Exactly.
You know? Remember that the Royal Scions has an ultimate, and it's actually very good.
And it is, in fact, absurd.
Draw 4 is real nice.
Yeah, when you tech.
Especially when you get to kill something, and it's 0 mana. It's real nice.
Like your opponent.
Oh, yeah, for
example.
example, your opponent. Pretty good card. The Royal Scions hopefully sees a little more play in this post-Field of the Dead world. The card's
Certainly,
really, really sweet.
It's absurdly strong.
Yeah, it's 3 mana and it ticks up to 6.
Yeah.
Why does every 3 mana planeswalker tick up to 6? It's insane. How are you ever supposed to combat that? I don't know. I can't even imagine trying to play some dumb creatures and just being like, oh, my opponent played a planeswalker. I'll just attack them. That's fine. It's like you just can't kill planeswalkers with combat damage anymore because they have so much loyalty. Which is why they put
the last line of text on Questing Beast.
Yeah,
so that you could kill planeswalkers with combat damage.
But it still doesn't feel like you can. Yeah. 4 damage doesn't do it either. It's absurd. All right. Well, let's see these players shuffling up for a game in number 3 here. Let's see what everybody's got in store for this third game. These games have been pretty good so far. Alright, looks like both players drawing their opening hands. Alright, Sabian going first in this game. See if he can give himself a mental reset after that last one. That's oftentimes the hardest part about it.
Indeed.
Alright, looks like Bryant on a quick mold to 6 here, but presumably that means Sabian kept his 7. So good news for somebody. Mm-hmm. Good news for all you Sabian fans out there. No? Nobody?
No. Oh.
Thanks. I'm kidding. We're your fans, Sabian. Alright, looks like Watery Grave enters the battlefield tapped here from Sabian. Bryant draws a card for his turn as he is on the draw, as you tend to do when you're on the draw.
That is how Game of Magic the Gathering cards works.
True. You put addictive paints on cardboard and then you draw cards on your turn. All right. Castle
Sabian's
Vantress.
got trips.
Ashiok? What's going on with this Ashiok here?
You know?
Oh, why is it getting countered?
Apparently it matters.
Oh, no. I don't know about this one. I don't think that card mattered at all.
Nope.
Is it me or did that card not matter? But it got negated. Yeah. I was about to flame Sabian for putting it into his deck, but I guess...
I was going to mill him out, dude.
Not with all these freaking Chandras floating around. Did you see how many Chandra emblems those players had last game?
As someone who was recently milled for 39 cards on turn 2, you gotta be careful.
You know, it happens to the best of us. Here's a Thought Erasure. Here is an Ionize from from Bryant. And I think Sabian does not get to Surveil because it got countered. So he saw the top card. I assume we'll just give that a shuffle.
Yep. Extra cards warning.
Of course, this is an FNM, just a casual REL event, so I assume we're just gonna shuffle the deck, and
shuffle the deck.
That'll be fine. I don't think we know the order of any cards there.
I
do, however, think that Sabian might be missing his 4th land here.
Yep.
Yikes. Uh-oh. This is when losing the last game in that fashion really starts to get you.
Yeah.
When you're like, man, I should have won the last game, and now I missed my 4th land drop, and I'm missing a color. This is really the mental boom test here. Yeah. Let's see if Sabian can keep it together. Looks like Bryant Drew played a land, said go. Sabian on top upkeep, draw. No land. Send it back. All right. Opt at the end step from Bryant. Bryant's probably just trying to make his land drops and ramp up to this Chandra in his hand. If Sabian keeps missing lands, he's not going to be able to really beat a Chandra. Oh, but it looks like Bryant missed his land too. So, Spark Double. Yikes.
Sabian still missing.
Discard a Liliana.
Yeah, that card doesn't do all that much.
I think we're just watching a little bit of a fail state here from both players. I think... Oh, there's a land from Sabian. Granted. I might let that one resolve, actually. I'm just... What is our opponent getting, really? That we're that worried about?
Ego,
is it like it would be duress, probably, right?
Probably.
Yeah.
I don't know. I still don't. I just
looks like Brian just countered it. Yeah. Which I'm not. I don't hate. Oh, the Bone Crusher Giant is in. Ooh, let's go. All right, looks like send the turn back to Sabian with Bryant. He's got 7 cards in his hand.
Oh yeah, the 61 main deck this game. Sick.
Oh, Sabian doesn't have the duress in his sideboard. He's got 61 man. Yikes.
As it turns out, that is legal and has to stay the way it is.
That is true.
Yep.
Of course, this is not competitive REL, so potentially an exception would be made, but
No,
it looks like one will not be.
I don't think it would. Oh, you mean, I see what you're saying. Got it.
Yeah.
An exception would be made in this case, since it's
yes, absolutely. But that is, of course, not the rules in competitive REL.
Yeah.
Let's see what Sabian wants to do now. He's hit his 5th land. He could cast Nicol Bolas in his hand. But it looks like he just plays Steam Vents tapped and passed the turn. That's an interesting play from Sabian. He has plenty of things to do with his mana. Why did he play a Steam Vents tapped? I'm pretty confused by that one.
He doesn't want to run his Nicol Bolas into a counterspell, which doesn't really make much sense.
I get it too, but even then we want to activate Castle Vantress, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, if we're doing nothing else, I'd take 2 damage to Scry 2 here for sure.
100%.
Like, we want to hit more lands. Looks like Bryant did find his 5th mana finally. If Bryant hadn't stumbled, I think he probably would have ran away with this game with his Chandra. But looks like, speaking of Chandra, I think Sabian has one in his hand, and I think it's coming down this turn for sure.
Looks like
Nicol Bolas. Interesting. And why did we shock this turn?
You know, I couldn't really say.
Am I crazy? But we could have cast Nicol Bolas last turn, right? Like,
no, we certainly
the colors are not a problem.
No, the colors are definitely not a problem.
I didn't think so.
I also don't know why this Castle Vantress is the untapped land.
Yeah, it's pretty marginal.
I think it is negligible, but
yeah, still small points. Hallowed Fountain here will allow Bryant to cast his Chandra. Of course, with his opponent at 12, I'm about Chandra plus.
Pretty reasonable.
Yeah, I think that the Chandra plus is just gonna be pretty unbeatable here from Sabian. Even if he manages to kill it on his following turn, which looks like Sabian will be able to with an Elder Spell. He doesn't really have that much of a clock going on immediately to be able to really combat a Chandra Emblem plus any type of follow-up, which it looks like Bryant has an Ironcrag Pyromancer, which will be able to escalate that clock much quicker. You know, just take 3 turns off of it. So down to 11 will Sabian go, and now the pressure's on. So let's see if Sabian can mount an offense before he dies.
Oh, there's Chandra off the top.
Yeah, I think you have to play the Elder Spell this turn.
Absolutely.
Which sucks. Yep. Because I don't think you can actually kill Bryant in 6 turns. Not to mention, if he has any way of defending his Chandra after you let him untap, you're in a really bad spot. Well, but it looks like Sabian disagrees. He's going to go with Liliana and go ahead and make a 2/2. And try to assault the Chandra that way.
Interesting. I think he wants to get value off his Elder Spell, and that's why we're seeing this.
That makes sense. If you can get a Liliana ultimate, that is a reasonable way to win a game, but you might even just burn out before you kill your opponent.
That's where I'm at.
Yeah, like, I think that's somewhat likely, actually. Alright, here's the Ironcrag Pyromancer. Here's a Teferi. Oh, Teferi bounce the token is an excellent line. Of course, the token does not die, so Sabian does not draw a card. 3 damage upstairs, +2 the Chandra, means that Sabian's going...
+1 Chandra emblem for Sabian.
Yeah, means that Sabian's going to 8 and then down to 6 on his turn. So now we have at most 2 turns to kill our opponent. Rutro. Rutro Raggy. I think we're pretty dead here.
Unless, of course, Sabian is able to cast Nicol Bolas and cast the Elder Spell and kill his opponent with an emblem.
Yeah, but Brian has Planeswalkers, so, you know.
Yeah, Elder Spell, Planeswalkers.
Yeah, would do the trick.
Yes.
So, we'll see if he has that. That is actually just a kill here, if I'm correct. But he does need to have it.
I don't think he has the Nicol Bolas.
I tend to agree. Yeah, he does have the Elder Spell, but no Nicol Bolas. He has a Chandra of his own, but that's all.
You can cast... No, let's see. He has 7 lands untapped this turn?
I believe that is correct. What is the plan from Sabian? So we need to kill our opponent. We probably need to set up a Nicol Bolas kill.
Yeah, I think we just need to.
So whatever draws us the most cards this turn, I think is the play we have to make. So, let's see what Sabian wants to do.
Nicol Bolas enters at 4 and ults at 8.
Correct. So Elder Spell onto 2 Planeswalkers does do the trick. Sabian also might feel pressured into minusing his Liliana this turn to be able to get that Ironcrag Pyromancer off of the board.
Yeah.
So we'll see what he wants to do. He's got... Is that a Ritual of Soot? Yes, it is. So Ritual of Soot will remove the Ironcrag Pyromancer. And looks like we're just going to cast this Elder Spell now. So I don't know that Sabian can really win this game, though.
Nope. I don't.
I think I also would have liked to have seen Sabian plus his Liliana to make a zombie before the Elder Spell there, or before the Ritual of Soot there, to draw 1 card. Because I don't think you can. I think you just have to draw a Nicol Bolas to win the game, right?
Well, not anymore.
Not anymore, but like I think the correct line there was plus my Liliana, cast Ritual of Soot, say go, and then get 2 rips at a Nicol Bolas.
Yep.
Because we're
To draw a card.
taking 2
Sabian
next
for
turn.
3.
Yeah, Sabian down to
4.
4.
He's gonna take 2.
Yeah, so he has to win the game on his next turn, which
Yep.
I don't believe is possible.
If he draws Nicol Bolas, I don't know if he has either half of Nicol Bolas and Elder Spell in his hand.
I don't think he does.
The
I'm sure we would have seen it
combination
last
too.
turn if we had it. That was
Well, he
lethal.
gets to minus his Liliana and draw a card.
True. And he gets a draw for his turn. I think this to draw for turn is Spark Double. That or one. It's either that or Narset. Art looks pretty similar. Bryant taking a quick read of Liliana, making sure he knows what it does. Let's see what Sabian wants to do. Oh, that's interesting. It appears that Sabian only has 1 emblem. So that definitely matters.
Matters quite a bit.
I'm not certain how. Maybe Bryant took a little detour to shoot a Planeswalker with his Chandra. That's the only thing I could think of that would make any sense.
Agreed.
So potentially this Liliana's at a low loyalty. But we'll have to see. Regardless, still, 3 isn't that many turns. He has significantly more turns than we thought to win the game. I thought it was just going to have to be this one. Liliana is at 8. So, is at 8 post Elder Spell. So Chandra must have downticked to shoot Liliana for an amount to make it so that she couldn't -4, I think. That's kind of the only thing that makes sense.
Yep.
Given these circumstances. Narset misses. Yikes. Looks like both players going to sacrifice 2 creatures. Sabian will draw a card. Top card of his deck is Thought Erasure. That's a pretty reasonable one.
Not bad here.
Yeah, I don't hate that. It gets us to Surveil. Hopefully finds us either a Nicol Bolas or an Elder Spell or something like that. We need our opponent to play another Planeswalker, really.
Yep.
So that we can actually kill him with Nicol Bolas Elder Spell.
Well,
we have enough
2.
Planeswalkers
Yeah,
that it'll be fine.
Yeah, we have.
I always forget that you can just nuke your own ones.
Yeah, that's actually
It's come up a lot. I don't know why I forgot it. And I've done it many a times.
That's the usual mode is nuke your own dudes.
Yeah, nuke my guys, kill you. All right, looks like Spark Double my Narset. Looks like Sabian tends to agree. We need to dig. We need to dig bad. So, Spark Double my Narset down to 4. Let's dig 4 deep. There's the Nicol Bolas. So I think we definitely need that one. Looks like Sabian is pulled it to the front. Taking Fires of Invention here, not the play. Looks like Sabian agrees. So now we just need to find another Elder Spell. And potentially there's one in our sideboard, so Fae of Wishes might also get us there.
Yeah, we get to see 9 cards next turn.
Yeah.
For an Elder Spell.
Yeah, and
That's pretty
for the
good.
turn after, yeah. Oh, here's the little Chandra. Make 2 1/1s, will it? I expect Sean.
And that kills him.
Yep.
Yeah.
That just does 2 damage,
And
and that'll do the job.
The line.
And with that, Bryant does take down Sabian in a close match.
Very close match.
But, you take your wins where you get them.
You do.
If you're Bryant, I think. So, anyways, I would love to thank everybody here for joining us for tonight. This has been super fun. We will be back on Monday with some modern Magic the Gathering. Yep. So if you're interested in that, we will be doing that. Make sure to like, follow, and share the stream if you enjoy it. And keep updated if you follow us on social medias. We are thinking about getting some type of Pioneer event going sometime soon. So if you're interested in that, we will likely be adding that to the stream schedule at some point here in the future. So be sure to keep up to date with what we are doing. But I know for sure we'll be back on Monday with Modern, and we'll be back next Friday with Standard. So thank you so much, everybody, for watching the stream. We have our VODs going up on YouTube later as well. So if you missed any of these matches from tonight and you want to go back and check them out, YouTube is the place to do it. You'll find a link to that as well. Just down below and on our socials. So thank you so much to everyone. Thank you, Jesse, for joining me.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Alex.
Anytime. And I will see you all on Monday for some Modern. And let's play some Hot Damn Scandal on the way out.